streaming live on the Mazin app. It all starts right now.
The second half of the season begins tonight. Game number 82 of 162, with the Orioles blazing ahead of last year's pace. 10 games better than the 2021 team of the halfway mark, 37-44, looking for win number 38 against the Texas Rangers. Good evening. Welcome to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Kevin Brown, soon to be joined by Ben McDonald. It's been quite the first half for the Orioles with a lot of dramatic moments, the kind of situations you dream about when you're a kid. You're in the backyard. It's the bottom of the ninth. It's 3-2, 2 outs. The base is loaded. You hit a ball over the fence and the crowd goes wild. You don't dream about getting drilled with the ball in that moment or bunting a ball that gets thrown 20 feet over a third baseman's head. But that's the kind of season it's been for the Orioles. Couple of walk-off home runs, yes, but also some very unusual walk-off wins, and they added to that collection yesterday. For the Orioles, 6 walk-off wins this year have come without a hit. No other team in the big leagues has more than 2. Yesterday, one of the more unusual rallies that featured 4 base runners, 3 batters, and 2 pitches with a bonus runner and intentional walk, and then Jorge Mateo winning the game, Ben, by standing in there and getting drilled with a fastball. It's just been a year of weird, wild stuff.
It has. It's been a weird year all the way around, and it began for the Orioles, back on April 15th against the Yankees. But look, after what the Orioles have been through lately, you'll take them any way you can get them. Let's take a look at those 4 strange walk-offs. April 15th, Yankees in town. Aroldis Chapman, 3-2 pitch. Think you're getting a fastball, but instead it's a breaking ball. And Ramon Urias, a walk-off walk. And that was the first one. And it was Robinson Chirinos just laying down a bump. Salomore is going to get the lead runner over at third base, is what everybody thought, but instead he fires it all the way down the left field line. Jorge Mateo would score on a walk-off error. And then it was Rougned Odor just a few weeks after that. The bouncing ball over to Ji-Man Choi over at first base, but he whiffs on it, what ends up being a fielder's choice. Adley Rutschman scores. The Orioles would walk that one off. So that was the third very unusual. And of course, if you watched the game yesterday, bases loaded, nobody out, and you get a walk-off hit by pitch. Matt Moore just drills Mateo, the first pitch that Mateo sees, and the Orioles would win that one too. So it's been a strange year, but look, you'll take them anywhere you can get them. We're at the halfway point right now. The Orioles already 10 more wins this time of the year than what they had last year. So improvements across the board, especially in the main category, and that's wins.
27-54 a season ago, 37-44 this year, 6 walk-offs. They'll take it in 9 or 10 or anything tonight.
This is my home.
Home game number 37, game number 82 for the Orioles this season. Hit the halfway point of the year by games, and they'll face Texas in game number 79 for the Rangers. 37-41, the Rangers in third in the American League West. Chris Woodward, the 4th-year manager, with Marcus Semien on a red-hot road trip. 3 home runs in the last 6 for him. He and Corey Seager, the big free agent signings for Texas, which has Jonah Heim, one of the best hitting catchers in the league, the former Oriole farmhand, in the starting lineup, batting 6th.
And they will take their swings off the 30-year-old right-hander, Austin Voth. Both on the year split between the Orioles and the Nationals. Numbers totally different. 19 appearances, all out of the bullpen with the Nationals, pitched to an ERA above 10, but his 6 appearances with the Orioles have been really good, pitching to a 3 ERA, punched out 12 and 12 innings of work on the year. And this is StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Take a look at how Austin Voth likes to use his pitch arsenal. 4-seam fastball, curveball, a cutter. 4-seam fastball 43% of the time, curveball 29, and cutter an occasional changeup. Big league average on the fastball of 94 miles an hour.
So it'll be start number 4 for Voth, who threw 3 innings and 62 pitches his last time. He's been slowly built up after joining the Orioles as a waiver claim from the Nats and joining the Orioles as a reliever. Pitching for the second time as a 30-year-old. His birthday was just over a week ago, Sunday the 26th of June. And the Orioles may need a little bit more than 3 innings out of Voth tonight. They used 5 relievers yesterday. Lopez and Bautista have thrown 3 the last 4 days. Been a heavier stretch for the bullpen, so the hope for Brandon Hyde is that Voth can provide a little bit more length today. There is the Orioles' 4th-year skipper talking to Freddie Gonzalez. And ready for game number 82, the second half of the season is underway with ball 1. 7:07 our first pitch time, 5th day of July 2022, a day that saw some major rain earlier. Partly sunny skies right now, 81 degrees as Josh Smith flares one to left and out of the reach of Ryan McKenna. A couple of regular Orioles out of the starting lineup today. Austin Hayes, who was hit in the hand yesterday, has a sore wrist. Ryan Mountcastle dealing with a sinus issue, so you saw McKenna in left. Orioles do have Jorge Mateo in the starting lineup today after being drilled in the quad area by that pitch to end the game.
Yeah, that's some big misses on offense. Mountcastle been as hot as anybody lately with the extra base hits. Of course, Austin Hayes has probably been the most consistent hitter all year long for the Orioles.
It's Smith, Simeon, and Seager, the same top 3 for Texas. Rangers 6th in the American League in runs per game, 4.4. And there's the hook from Voth, who can really spin that curveball.
Yeah, his curveball spins just about 3,000 RPMs, and the average big league curveball, you know, going to spend somewhere around 2,600, 2,500, and so he's well above big league average on spin rate.
There's another curveball whacked away foul by Smith.
And the only thing that means is when he throws a good one, and he throws it where it needs to be. It's got some really good depth to it.
'24-year-old Josh Smith out of LSU, first-year big leaguer. He's had a nice start to his major league career with a very good eye, and he's able to foul off this fastball from Voth. Last 2 pitches, that's more or less what we've seen from Voth. Fastballs high, breaking balls low, and because of the spin rate, he feels like he's able to mess with hitters when he goes with that combination.
Yeah, and any guy that has a real curveball, and like Voth does, you want to pitch up in the strike zone with your fastball because that sets up the breaking ball behind it, just being able to change planes.
That's the cutter. Mancini at first, knocks it down, collects, and Voth is there for the out.
Well, here's the Oriole defense behind Austin Voth. Ryan McKenna will get the start out in left field. Cedric Mullins back in center. Anthony Santander over and right. Up the middle, Mateo and Odor. Ramon Urias back over at third. Trey Mancini, his 2nd consecutive start at first base. And Robinson Chirinos behind home plate for the Orioles.
And Ramon Urias making his first start since June the 7th. Had missed nearly a month with an oblique issue. Pinch hit yesterday. Back in the lineup today.
Yeah, he had a pretty good swing on a pinch hit too after missing some time. Speaking of pretty good swings, Marcus Semien had a really good swing off of Jorge Lopez on a 3-1 fastball that was borderline even a strike. Boy, somehow he got the barrel to it and kept it fair down the left field line.
That gave Texas the lead temporarily, 6-5 in the 9th. Orioles would tie it in the bottom on a Rutschman double with 2 outs. 1-1 here for Semien. Home runs in 3 of the last 6 for him. Did not hit a homer in the first 43 games of the season. The first year Texas Ranger. He's been a very good hitter though since then. There's strike 2 is called by the crew chief Todd Tishner. 1-2 for Semien.
Yeah, Semien wasn't different than a whole lot of guys this year. The ball was not flying out of the ballpark early in the year. Month of April, the first month, was a slow month. Weather was cool. Balls may be a little bit different, but it seemed like the offense has ticked up since the weather began to tick up.
Two and 2 against Semien, or a Texas lineup that Voth has very little experience with.
And I don't know that that's a bad thing. You know, I just don't think. I mean, always felt like the first time a hitter saw me, I had the advantage of the pitcher. You know, he didn't quite know the velocity and how the ball moved and the break of everything. And so always felt like that was an advantage. I didn't mind. The worst thing to me was facing the same team 5 days apart. That was always the worst thing.
Well, only 4 at-bats combined. 3 batters have ever faced both in this lineup. Calhoun and Lowe once, Miller twice, and Simeon goes down in his first at-bat with Vogt on a high cutter.
Yeah, a good start for Austin Vogt. Weak ground ball by Josh Smith on a cutter. Then elevated. This ball not supposed to be there. You could see Robinson Chirinos gave that target well down below the knees is where he wanted, but you get away with one every now and then, and both got away with that one.
Does that act almost like a backup slider?
It kind of does. And I'm surprised Simeon swung at that ball because it would look like to me it was a ball out of the hand.
First strikeout for Vogt today. Here's Corey Seager, who swings at the first pitch more than anybody in baseball and takes one here. Seager's tied for the Ranger home run lead, leads Texas in walks, but has not had a great year overall. The first of 10 years contracted with the Rangers. He and Simeon, the 2 big offseason pickups.
Yeah, talking to the Ranger people again today, he just said, you know, he has shown flashes of really getting going, and just when you think he's about to get going again, he kind of slows off. So it's kind of been back and forth, and he's just fighting for some consistency. But you get the feeling at the end of the year when all the dust settles, the numbers will be there. Certainly the power numbers are there right now.
That's another high cutter for a swinging strike. Texas 60 and 102 last year. Not a good season for Chris Woodward's team, so they are much improved as well. 37 and 41 right now. The 3rd worst record in the big leagues. To left field from Seager. Sizzled at McKenna. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Vogt. Mullins will lead it off for the Orioles when we return. Pitches, and now the Orioles at 37 and 44 will bat, looking for a 3rd consecutive win. Here's the lineup for Brandon Hyde. Again, no Hayes, no Mountcastle, wrist and sinus issues respectively. Adley Rutschman DHs after his game-tying double yesterday, and Rougned Odor, first 3-hit game since May 27th against his old team yesterday afternoon.
And they will take their swings off the 25-year-old hard-throwing Spencer Howard. See his numbers on the year. He began the year with the Rangers. That's the number 5 starter. He won that job out of spring training. The start wasn't good and spent a little time on the IL with a blister issue, and then was optioned down to AAA Round Rock, and he was good, really good. They feel like he got it figured out, and so he's back in the big leagues, recalled today.
And starting with ball 1 to Cedric Mullins. 2 extra base hits for Mullins yesterday. RBI double in the 3rd. Long solo home run to center field in the 5th. 423-footer. And a tailing fastball here, 2-0.
Spencer Howard in AAA this year. Very good ERA at AAA, 3.69, 60 strikeouts and only 46 in the 3rd. So the stuff's good.
There's a strike, and one thing that's different about Spencer Howard, we didn't see him throw any sinkers his first 3 starts of the year in the big leagues. He threw it sparingly in the bigs last year. There were back-to-back sinkers, though, it looked like, to Mullins. Change in a pitch repertoire after a very good run in AAA, the reigning Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah, you look at his minor league numbers, and they're real. I mean, 281 innings pitched in the minor leagues the last 5 years, 372 strikeouts, so almost 100 more strikeouts than innings pitched.
About 12 per 9 innings. That is inside to Mullins with a slider, 3-2.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, you know, his repertoire and what he does. I mean, on Pitch Savant it says fastball, cutter, curveball, but that sure looked like sliders to me. And he did throw a slider last year, but really didn't throw one so far this year.
3-2 for Mullins, leading off the game for the Orioles. And that's way high. A leadoff walk for Mullins, his 23rd walk of the season.
Let's look at Spencer Howard's pitch arsenal. Fastball's a good one. It'll tick up to 96 miles an hour. That's the average. He'll use it about 49% of the time. Cutter 44%. And see, curveball only 7%. But those breaking balls we saw almost look like sliders to me.
Yeah, last year 5% sliders, 5% sinkers. Certainly looked like some sinkers and sliders there. Here's Trey Mancini after the walk to Mullins. And another way high fastball. Trey had a big hit yesterday in the 9th inning, a leadoff single. Ryan McKenna would pinch run for him and score the tying run off the Adley Rutschman double. And Mullins a major threat to steal already. Texas has been well below average throwing out runners. Jonah Heim this season has apprehended just 4 out of 40 attempted base stealers, and the Rangers as a team just 6 for 65 caught stealing.
Yeah, I think the way Cedric Mullins is feeling, and of course Jorge Mateo, now we'll have to wait and see with the leg. He got hit in the quad yesterday. Will he have the green light and how he's feeling? But certainly those two guys have been threats, especially recently. When they get on, they seem like, and of course, Minnesota had some trouble throwing out runners too. Their catchers and their pitchers really don't give them a chance. And kind of the same thing with the Rangers, you know. The Rangers have trouble holding runners, it looks like. They don't really give the catchers a big opportunity to throw out runners. And Cedric Mullins, that's a big lead.
Still not going as Trey fouls one away, and for Mancini, another hit yesterday, a hit in 11 straight starts, and a couple of hits off some very high pitches the last 2 games.
Yeah, that was my favorite one. He goes up and get an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, borderline even a strike, and quickly turn it around. There's a hanging breaking ball, which he's always been able to handle this pitch. That one just kind of sit there and spun, and he rifled it down the left field line.
See if Spencer Howard was paying attention. Now the check at first. Mullins is out. He is picked off by Howard.
Yeah, looked like Spencer Howard kind of gave Mullins the old kind of get me over move the first time, and then that was the good move. Oh, that's the old balk move too.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the front leg, which is Howard's left leg, and as a base stealer, you're watching the left heel. As soon as that heel comes up, that means he's picking his leg up to go towards home. And Spencer Howard's left leg, he buckled his knee right there. Watch his left knee. See how he buckled it real quick? That's supposed to be a balk, but that's a really good balk move. And that's what Cedric Mullins was complaining about. You don't typically get away with those, maybe once a game, but Howard used it in the right spot.
So the knee buckle, you're saying that can be seen as the intent to go home, which is for a balk is the intent to deceive the runner.
Yeah, because the runner's going to be looking at the left heel, and when that heel does that and it comes up off the ground, they're running. But what he did was just buckled his knee and then went over to first base, but he did it really quickly.
Out to right center for Trey, and this is Cole Calhoun, the Ranger right fielder.
Here's the Ranger defense behind Spencer Howard. Brad Miller gets the start in left. Garcia out in center field. Cole Calhoun in right. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien up the middle. Josh Smith, the rookie, over at third. Nathaniel Lowe back at first. And Jonah Heim behind home plate for the Rangers.
Gold Glover from a year ago, Marcus Semien. He has started every game but one for Texas this season overall, and he started now 73 of 78 at second base. So 2 down for Santander after a walk, a pickoff, and a flyout. Anthony lays down a bunt. Oh, that's a beautiful bunt. Nobody on the left side, rolling right past the base, and a bunt base hit for Santander.
Love it. And we've seen some of the Orioles out working early on this right here. Well before BP. Not today because it was raining, but you're going to shift and pull everybody over, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That one was. Santander just squares around and just pokes it towards third. It's not that easy, but he made that one look easy.
So Santander with a bunt base hit, and here is Adley Rutschman, one of yesterday's heroes. Orioles down to their final out in the 9th, and Rutschman slammed a double off the right field wall against the Texas closer Joe Barlow. Scored Ryan McKenna, sent the game to extras where the Orioles would win it.
Good to see Rutschman come through in a big situation. Most of the big damage he's done has been on the road. That was only his 2nd RBI and 4th extra base hit here at Camden Yards, but that was a big one.
On a 2-0 count, Howard will miss a little bit low. For Santander, by the way, that bunt base hit, that is the first of his career with the Orioles. I'm not sure we've even seen him attempt many in his time here. Perfectly inside the bag after a 2-for-5 game yesterday. And now a 3-1 count to Rutschman. Snapped it 0 for 18 yesterday afternoon and reached base with a walk and a couple of hits.
I like this matchup for Rutschman here. He throws a fastball.
He threw a fastball and Adley was a little bit late on it. Why do you like the matchup?
Well, he showed yesterday off of Barlow who had a good fastball, right? I mean, 0-1 count. Because Barlow threw him a first pitch breaking ball to put him down in the count. Then he comes back with an elevated fastball. And I feel like Rutschman's, when I was sitting home watching a little bit, I feel like he was a little bit late on the fastballs, a little bit out in front of the breaking balls early as he got off to a little bit of a slow start. Then I felt like the timing got better. He got more on time with some fastballs like he did yesterday.
Santander will get a head start. 3-2. 25-year-old Howard to the 24-year-old Rutschman. And he's a little bit late on that fastball as well.
Yeah, that tells you what kind of fastball Spencer Howard has. I mean, it's 96 miles an hour, but it feels like it's playing a little bit better than that.
He gets a lot of extension on his release. 6'3", but releases the ball closer to the plate than most pitchers at his height. See another 3-2 for Adley. And another fastball. This is driven to the third baseman Smith in the shift. That's a 5-3 ground out on the right side to end the first.
Exceeded 62 pitches in an outing, and that's considerable given that he's continuing to stretch out, and he's talked about the fact that he is comfortable with that role. But he did mention after his last start, look, I got through those 3 and my legs felt pretty fresh. I felt like I could have gone back out there for the 4th, but I understood it. My pitch count was up, and ultimately for Brandon Hyde, he's got to find the best exit to get off the Voth Highway and get into that bullpen that's behind him. But it's led to talking to Tyler Wells earlier today, another starter, and I just said, how big is that? Does that make you a little more sustainable? Maybe the arm's not fresh, but the legs keep you going. And he said, actually, there's been a huge change in focus on leg workouts, particularly for pitchers. We're always known as the guys who have to go out there and run. But for me, once I shifted that focus into weight training, into building up my legs, I realized just how much more I could do and further I could go into a game. And in fact, where my velocity used to sit right about 90, I've added those 4 extra ticks because I've had the leg strength to go. He said, so absolutely, Voth to key in on that. It's going to be a really big tell in how long he's able to stay in this rotation.
Yeah, I think, you know, typically the offseason is what's most important for your legs because that's where you build your strength. You try to sustain what you've built during the season. It is hard to really add a lot of weights during the season because you're going out and performing every 5th day as a starting pitcher. But to your point, the legs are the most important thing for a starting pitcher. That's what gives you your endurance. That's what keeps your velocity going. It's all about the core and it's about the leg strength. And if you have a good core and really good leg strength, it can carry you deeper into ball games. And the idea is to go deep into ball games, but keep the same stuff you started the game with.
So Ben, did you hate running as much as he says pitchers do?
No, because we running is something we always did, and you know the game has changed in that regard. Because I mean, you go back years ago, and the 2 guys that started for each team the next day were on the field for about a 20-minute run. That's kind of what you did. It was an endurance buildup of a run. You normally cover 2.5 miles, maybe even 3 miles. You know, the day after, just a nice jog to kind of loosen everything up because it built your endurance. And then there were 2 leg workouts in between, so it was a big leg day that day, and then you got an off day with your bullpen, and then another leg day, and then an off day, and you pitched again. So we tried to maintain, but what you do during the season, Mel, is you typically lift a little heavier in the off season, a little bit lighter during the season to try to keep that endurance level up.
I don't think Adolis Garcia's missed many leg days or arm days of late.
Well, he missed that baseball pretty good, though.
Yeah, he tried to hit that one to the third deck in left field. And a strikeout for Vogt. That's 2 in the first 4 batters.
Yeah, on a couple of cutters, elevated too, up almost out of the strike zone.
Here's Cole Calhoun, 34-year-old right fielder. Pinch hit walk in the 10th inning yesterday for Calhoun, the longtime Los Angeles Angel. First year across the way with Texas, which traded Willie Calhoun earlier in the season, an outfielder. Because you just can't have 2 Calhouns in the same outfield. That's just too confusing for everybody. Willie was traded to the Giants for Steven Duggar. Cole, good power hitter. 7 seasons of 16 home runs plus in a row before last year. And a fly ball foul here, 1-2. Two strikeouts for Vogt already. And Calhoun will take the curveball here. Pitch count at 25 for Vogt, his 4th Orioles start. 7th game with the team. Calhoun could not hold up. Check at third, and he went and he knew it. There's 3 strikeouts in the first 5 hitters for Vogt.
Really good curveball, that one by both. Starts it well off the outside part of the plate, kind of a back door. See it on the outside part, but it's got a good depth. How about the way the ball goes down? Breaking ball down.
So strikeouts on curveballs here. Got the cutter over to Semien in the first. 5 up, 5 down for Austin Vogt. Here's Jonah Heim. Saw Heim off the bench yesterday as well. I think there's an outside chance Heim makes the All-Star team for Texas. Probably going to be Martin Perez and maybe Adolis Garcia, but .490 slugging percentage, 12 home runs. One of the best power hitting catchers in the league this year, Jonah Heim, and what's been a little bit of a weaker year, it seems, for catchers offensively. 12 home runs, the most by a catcher for any player in the big leagues. All 12 hit while he was catching.
Yeah, he's a big dude. 6'4", 220.
And a big dude with a big swing. A line drive into center. The first Ranger runner of the game is Jonah Heim. Hey, O's fans, it is almost floppy time as the Orioles and Angels play this Friday night at 7:05. First 20,000 fans 21 and over receive an Orioles floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. Tickets as low as $15. Grab yours today at Orioles.com/tickets.
It's going to look kind of like this one that I have.
Unlike this right there.
How about that?
I think you look even better than you did yesterday. I think it's even bigger on your head.
I think it's the shirt. Shirt makes it look better.
What were you wearing yesterday?
Same shirt. Actually, it was a gray shirt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think orange and black is the winning combo for you.
Yeah, I like this shirt. I like the hat too. It's going to fit better without.
This is the picture of perfection right here, folks.
Yeah. Get your hat. Come get it. If not, I'm going to have a bunch of them. There's one. Well, it's kind of different. That one's got a little bit more wear and tear than what mine has.
Have you done much hat modeling in your career?
I wear a hat all the time. Like, I don't go a day without wearing a hat. Not like that, but.
That has some real coverage right there.
Keep the sun off of you.
Yeah. That breaking ball is outside of Nathaniel Lowe. Dropped to the 7th spot today. It was an eventful day for Lowe. Had an RBI single in the 5th inning yesterday, and then committed a critical error in the 6th on a play where 2 runs scored to tie the game.
Yeah, Lowe over the years has hit well here at Camden Yards. I remember some big games from him.
A few years with the Tampa Bay Rays, which always confused us because it was Nathaniel Lowe and Brandon Lau spelled the same, and thankfully the Rays traded him and took everybody out of their misery. 16 games here, career, 5 homers, and that one sent out of play, 3-2. Ranger leader in batting average and on base percentage. Only a .327 on base, because this is a Texas team that's 4th worst in the majors in walks, just 27th. Chris Woodward's bunch hits a lot of home runs, 4th in the American League, but they swing at most everything. On 3-2, Lowe will not swing here, though. A wayward curveball from Vogt and a couple of 2-out base runners for Texas.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an unusual combination for the Rangers. You know, because they steal so many bases, they've got the most stolen bases in all of baseball, but they're right towards the top of the American League in home runs.
Added to that home run total with Mitch Garver yesterday. A 3-run tie-breaking shot off Dean Kramer in the 5th.
Yeah, that was the big explosion for the Rangers, a 5-run 5th.
Only runs in the game for Texas outside of Simeon in the 9th. Orioles would win it 7-6, came back from 3 down, and Garver takes a curveball. Very careful start to Garver. 31 home run hitter with the Twins in 2019. Fell off to 2 in 23 games in 2020. Had a good year last year. There's a back pick at second. Odor flailing across the base, and Heim is safe. Pitch was a strike to Garver.
Throw a little bit towards the first base side. So Odor has to go back and get it. But I like that. Throw it around a little bit. If you can make that base runner just stay maybe a step closer to second base, if there is a base hit in the outfield, it gives this Oriole outfield, which has been outstanding in throwing out runners, gives them a little bit better chance to collect that out at home plate.
On a 1-1, Garver softly off the end of the bat, and Mullins is there to track it down. A couple stranded, 3 strikeouts through 2 for both. Ronnie Upchurch has already won $500, and Ronnie will win $500 more for each Orioles home run hit tonight. Enter your Fast Play Home Run Riches bases loaded ticket into My Lottery rewards for your chance to win. Find out how at mdlottery.com/home run. Orioles have hit 84 home runs in 81 games, and under a beautiful sunset, they'll hope to hit some more in front of a fan who's at her first Orioles game tonight. Hope it'll be a memorable one. The Rangers and the O's, middle of a 3-game series. Yeah, got the flossing energy out in the stands.
Cotton candy about to kick in.
Outside to Urias from Spencer Howard here in the bottom of the 2nd. Ramon Urias making his first start since June the 7th. Batting in the 5 spot tonight. Urias was really starting to swing the bat well too when he went down. Really unfortunate timing had homered in 3 of his last 7 starts before the injury. 6 home runs, 50 games on the year. And this ball is exactly what Ramon Urias loves to do. Take an outside pitch, go to right center field with it.
Boy, he was one of the big surprises for the Orioles last year. I mean, he hit for a nice average, and boy, he did a lot of damage with runners in scoring position last year. He was the best the Orioles had runners in scoring position, and this is the reason why. He doesn't try to pull that ball very often. Pitch him away, he's going to let the hands fly first. The barrel follows it. See how he takes that front hand off so that bat can stay level with that extension through the zone, and just kind of lobs it out in right center field for a leadoff single.
Here is Rougned Odor, who had one of his finer games of the season yesterday. Started with a couple of strikeouts. Dane Dunning really dominated him with sliders and changeups, and then Odor went 3 for his final 3. First 3-hit game since May the 27th for Odor. Average back up over 200, slugging at .399.
Yeah, and he's making some noise off some lefties too. Some lefty on lefty matchups.
This was the last of those 3 hits from Odor, a player who hasn't dropped down many bunts in his career, but had a perfect bunt against Matt Moore in the 11th.
That was nice because that was a breaking ball kind of going down and away from him, but he covered the plate, puts it in a perfect spot. Of course, that would get the winning run over the third base.
It was quite thrilled about it as well after the game, talking about his joy in getting to put the bunt down. Asked to do it, came through at a big spot. This one into left for Brad Miller.
Yeah, he said Brandon Hyde came to him in between innings, said, "Hey, I need you to get a bunt down." He said, "I can do it. I can do it." And he did it.
Yeah, only 12 sack bunts in his career. When you hit 30 home runs in 3 seasons, you don't bunt much, but that bunt was a big play in the 2-pitch, 3-batter, 4-base runner, 1-run 10th inning. 1 on, 1 out in this scoreless game. Here's Ryan McKenna. And there's a strike. That is the slider for Howard, who again has been more sinker slider today after spending the first few starts of the season more 4-seam and cutter. That looked a little bit more like some of the cutters we've been used to seeing from Howard. We've seen some bigger breaking balls today as he changes his pitch mix. McKenna toward the middle and through. Seager couldn't make a play on it, and Urias will go to third. First and third, 1 out on a McKenna base hit through the box.
Well, that was some bat speed there. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. You're down in the count. No balls and 1 strike, but McKenna really quick to the ball here. This ball's supposed to be away, kind of works the inside third of the plate. He shall rock it right by Seager at shortstop. Watch Ramon Urias, a good read. Ball's right in front of him. Easily goes first to third, so the Orioles making some noise here.
Tough play for Seager, but the kind of play that makes you appreciate Jorge Mateo and the range he could cover, because you'd love to at least knock it down if you're Texas. So here is the ex-Ranger Chirinos, and he shows a bunt, takes a strike. Maybe a squeeze play, maybe just a feint. It's an Orioles team with 2 ex-Rangers in the lineup, Odor and Chirinos. Jordan Lyles, who pitched the last 2 years with Texas, will not throw in this series. Chirinos with the Rangers parts of 7 seasons. He does bunt, and that is foul. So the squeeze was on, and it was not executed. Showed you in our open today, Chirinos laying down a bunt in a game against Boston, April the 30th. Hirokazu Sawamura threw it away. Orioles won on a walk-off error. Did see Chirinos lay down a sacrifice a couple of games ago as well. Not something he's done a ton in his career, and likely not something he'll be asked to do now on 0-2. There's a high fastball from Howard and a big strikeout for out number 2. Runners cannot advance.
Yeah, that's big and well placed by Howard too, because you could see Jonah Heim behind home plate. Watch him put the high target up. Says, give me that 4-seam fastball right up here, and that is perfectly delivered.
So here's Jorge Mateo, who had himself quite the afternoon. Mateo yesterday reached on catcher's interference his first at bat. Went to third on a Cedric Mullins double, got a stop sign, and then Adolis Garcia didn't throw the ball in. So Mateo then got a go sign and scored. And he was hit by a pitch on the final pitch of the game to force in a run with the bases loaded. Had to limp down to first, was helped over there by a couple of his teammates. The left quad was the issue for him. Orioles tested it out pregame. They weren't sure if he'd be in the lineup, and he was a late addition to the lineup.
Yeah, 0 for 6 in his last 3 games, but 3 RBIs. How about that?
Had a sacrifice fly in Minnesota. Had a fielder's choice ground ball with a runner at third in Minnesota. And then a hit by pitch against Texas. Rios and McKenna the runners. And Mateo through the right side. This time the RBI comes on a hit, and McKenna will try to go to third, and he is safe. Low slide, late tag from Smith. RBI single this time for Mateo. That's a little more traditional, and the Orioles strike first.
Boy, hitting with runners in scoring position. Last 7 games, 6 for 48 for the Orioles. But a hanging breaking ball, and Mateo an inside out swing, and that nets a run. Boy, speed's been the difference for the Orioles in this inning. Rios goes first to third on a base hit. Ryan McKenna first to third on a base hit.
Pretty gutsy move on a Gold Glove winner out there and right. And the throw beat him, but the slide was perfect. We'll see if Mateo tries to take second now with McKenna at third and Mullins at the plate.
Now we're about to find out how sore that leg is. 19 stolen bases on the year for Mateo.
If he goes, I wouldn't think Heim would throw through, given A, that he's 4 for 40, B, that Mateo's so good, and C, that you have McKenna at third who could easily take home. And Howard's thinking he might be going.
Yeah, that's where the read comes in. If Mateo takes off and he feels like the throw is definitely coming down and he can't make it, then he's going to have to stop. Figure out a way to stop and let McKenna try to score from home, or from third base rather than get home. The secret shortstop's got a long way to go to get to the bag. He is playing deep right on the outfield or infield grass, I guess it is. He's off.
Heim is going to throw through, and Mateo is safe. Oh, surprise, surprise. Heim took a shot at it, and Mateo got in there for stolen base number 20.
A really good jump. Pretty good lead, above average lead, and a good jump. There it is. He just beats the throw. Pretty good pitch to handle for Jonah Heim, but Mateo too much speed. He just beats this one out.
Second in the American League coming into the game. He got in there. And two are in scoring position with a 2-0 count on Mullins.
Well, Howard wanted that one. He thought he had a strike right there. Ball caught the edge of the box.
Todd Tishner, the crew chief and plate umpire tonight, didn't give it to him.
Well, careful here. Cedric Mullins has begun to heat up and start to look like the guy last year that went 30-30. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He's been good.
Mullins, when he faces a pitcher a second time this year, he has been absolutely devastating. And after a first inning walk, what can he do on 2-1? He can foul it back. First time facing a pitcher, 226, 280 on base. Second time, 338, 373 on base. And how about the power? 305 slugging in his first at bat of the game. When he faces a pitcher for a second time, that number jumps to 634.
He quickly figures it out. And that's what you hope you see the second time through the lineup. And the third time the pitcher's still in there. The ability to make some adjustments.
And the second time is the charm once again. 2-run score. Mullins trying to get to second. He is in there. Advice for starting pitchers: when you face Mullins a second time, just put up 4 fingers. He's going to beat you. A 2-run double. It's 3-0.
Boy, and that was nice. Cedric Mullins goes out and covers a fastball on the outside part of the plate and just hooks it for his 21st double of the year. Boy, 2 out, runners in scoring position has been a little bit of a struggle for the Orioles this year, but not so far tonight. Just a line drive out toward right center field, nets 2. Now the Orioles have a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, Brandon Hyde said before yesterday's game that the Orioles were going to have to deal with the aggressiveness and the athleticism of Texas. And in this second inning, the Rangers have had to deal with the aggressiveness and the athleticism on the base paths of the Orioles.
Well, the Orioles have been pressuring up opposing teams too. I mean, now what? 48 stolen bases on the year. That's 6th best in the American League.
They've really taken 3 extra bases in this inning. McKenna on the Mateo single, then the Mateo steal, and then Mullins grabbing second against Garcia, who is one of the best outfield arms in the league. Now Mancini. And a breaking ball hammered into left field. That's going to be another run. Mullins will jog in. Mancini will make it to second base. Back-to-back doubles. 3 straight run scoring hits. And a major second inning for the Birds.
Boy, runs have been hard to come by before last night. Orioles had only scored 11 runs in their last 4 games. 7 last night. A hanging breaking ball here. So 3 consecutive base hits for the Orioles, with runners in scoring position and 2 out. And a 4-0 lead now. Boy, Trey Mancini is not missing any mistakes up in the zone right now.
There's Santander up the middle, and Seager is right there. The Orioles in their last 4 games had 4 hits with runners in scoring position. They get 3 in the second inning. To you by PNC, helping to make banking easier. And by Royal Farms. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast. It was a royal second inning for the Orioles. A real fast rally against Spencer Howard. 2 on, 2 out. Mateo, Mullins, and Mancini mash for 4 RBIs on 3 hits. And the O's have a cushion for Austin Voth in his 3rd inning of work.
Yeah, right where Voth wants to be now. 3 innings of work each of his last 2 starts as he continues to get built up. All of his appearance with the Nationals, all 19 of them came out of the bullpen. He's had 6 appearances, now the 7th, so 4 starts, 3 out of the bullpen for the Orioles.
Brad Miller, a first pitch swing, a first pitch fly ball. It's Mullins with a call, and Mullins, dirt streaking the right side of his jersey with a catch. Friday fireworks return to the yard this week. 4th of July, what enough fireworks for you. Friday night, Orioles and Angels will play with a beautiful light display after that August 19th after the Goes Red Sox as well. Buy your tickets right now at Orioles.com/tickets. It's great to hear from Jimmy Charles on the pregame show with Mel. He'll be performing the national anthem on Friday. He'll be performing after the game on Friday too with a fireworks show. Got to hear Jimmy's song before the game today. It's a Maryland thing you wouldn't understand, which was really cool.
First time I heard it, it was good. Plenty of fireworks last night around the Inner Harbor. I know that.
There's a fly ball from Smith. A 1-pitch out, then a 2-pitch out for both. That's what you like to see after your offense puts up 4.
Yeah, man, sometimes we talk too much about the shutdown innings, but anytime your team goes out there and puts up 4, important to keep all the momentum. And both just 1 out away of throwing up a 0 after Orioles put up 4 for him.
Last 2 starts were 3-inning starts. 62 pitches through 3 for the last one. He could get through 3 much more quickly with an out against Simeon here. And starts him with a strike.
Yeah, his last start was against Seattle, went 3 innings, 4 hits, gave up 3 runs, but only 1 of which was earned. Walked 1, struck out 2. And the starter, he's been really good for the Orioles.
It's the first time you're seeing him in person, right, as an Oriole?
Yes.
What do you like about his Mitch so far?
Well, he's doing kind of what we thought he would do. He's pitching the fastball more towards the upper part, and he's setting up the breaking ball behind it. Doesn't throw many changeups. It's listed as having a changeup, but.
And that is a 6-pitch inning. 1 to Miller, 2 to Smith, 3 to Simeon. We've been having a lot of fun around these parts since Adley Rutschman came up. First 40 games, Orioles 16-24. They've now had more games with Rutschman on the roster than without. And you look at the record, the team OPS, the runs per game. There's something to it, Brandon Hyde and the Orioles think. Now, Adley's OPS is only 674. Got off to a slow start, but really carried them on that road trip. They feel like his presence as well has helped to bring a little bit more depth to this lineup.
Yeah, it adds an extra threat, an extra long ball, extra base hit threat. And I think, you know, as a teammate, whenever you bring up a talent like Adley Rutschman, you know, it just gives everybody more confidence to know that the team got a lot better. And I think Adley, although he's performed, you know, it's been kind of back and forth so far. Where he's been really consistent for me is behind home plate, and the ability to be able to separate when he's had some struggles offensively. The defense has not taken a day off. He's been really good working with the pitchers. I still love the way he meets the pitcher at the first base line on the way back to the dugout, and he calls a good game. And he's a difference maker behind home plate, blocking balls.
Another fastball from Spencer Howard, and Rutschman has been behind the fastballs in the first couple of at-bats tonight.
Yeah, timing just off a little bit because he's got some fastballs in some fastball counts and still a little bit tardy.
So Adley 0 for 2. Spencer Howard looking for a quick inning after a 23-pitch second where 4 runs crossed on 5 hits. Ramon Urias led it all off with a single. Maybe one of the more thrilling Oriole innings of the season. Some great aggressive base running. McKenna, Mateo, Mullins. Some really well struck balls against Howard, who's making just his 4th big league appearance of the year. Urias a little bit late. Strike 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a really exciting team to watch, and they steal bases, they hit home runs. The pitching staff has been amazing this year, and you got some stars sprinkled in there and some more coming. We talked about it in the open. I mean, look, it's a team that's 10 games better win-wise than what they were this time last year.
the right side and out of play. And victory is mine. Great flow, great play off the bounce. And I'm sure a big smile here. Got to get the angle right. Yeah, would you move out of the way and try to take a picture?
Move, yes.
Down the right field line again. This is a fair ball for Calhoun. I think that was a Razorback fan there who was a little bit late to react. Still smarting over the College World Series, maybe.
Yeah, they've had a tough run. Dave Van Horn, head coach at Arkansas, taking the Razorbacks 7 times to the College World Series, yet to win it. Been there 9 times overall and has not won it yet.
Was their last trip to the finals the 2018 one, the loss to Adley's Oregon State team?
That's the one they're not over with yet, because that was the one, the foul ball with 2 out in the 9th inning with a 1-run lead, and Adley's team. And if that foul ball is caught down the line and there was a little miscommunication between first baseman and right fielder, ball falls in, next batter gets a base hit, and Adley Rutschman and Oregon State would win it in extra innings and then win the final game. That would have won the national championship for them, and that's been a tough pill to get over for the Razorback fans.
Here's a quick inning for Howard, a 7-pitch third after Voth threw just 6.
There's been a lot more fun going on for the Orioles than just the fact that the wins keep piling up. There's a special jersey hanging right now at the Orioles clubhouse. It belongs to Byron Buxton, one of the leaders of the Minnesota Twins, and it belongs to Cedric Mullins. Now, I got to ask Cedric after Austin Hayes pointed it out and said, "Oh, that's not mine." And he said, "Yeah, it was the craziest thing. The Twins played the Orioles in early May, and an attendant came into the Orioles clubhouse and said, 'Hey, man, we need you to sign this jersey.' So he signs his name, sends it back, and then finds out it's for none other than Byron Buxton, a fellow Georgia native, also a standout in the outfield. So he said, 'Man, I wish I had known. I would have written a message. I would have done something other than just my signature. But once it happened, I gotta get one from him.' And so he asked Byron, 'Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Could I have one of yours?' So he said, 'No problem.' Wrote a very awesome message on the back of the jersey across the numbers. And Austin Hayes said, 'You know, I wish we could get more of that across the league. You see it all the time in the NBA. We need more of it in Major League Baseball, and it's as simple as starting to ask.' So I did ask. Austin Hayes said he would gladly take somebody like Miguel Cabrera, no doubt one of the GOATs in the game right now. And for the rest, they've got Yadier Molina, Trey Mancini wants Jamison Tyone, and Devin Smeltzer. They're all fellow cancer survivors. But we could see some interesting jersey swaps going on, guys. Adley Rutschman, by the way, said he'd take Trout, Ohtani, or Yadi.
Yeah, keep standards high, Adley. My gosh.
I think we'd all take that.
That's a cool story. You see that a lot in international soccer as well, not much in the NBA. And first of all, it's a great jersey to get, the baby blue one for the Twins, but it shows the respect that Mullins has quickly gained across the league. This is into left field from Garcia, hanging up there for McKenna. Makes the play on the run, and 2 quick outs for both.
Yeah, and I asked Cedric, I said, "Well, did you ask why maybe he wanted it? I know you guys have got the hometown roots going on." He thought, "Man, I really didn't, and now I should have. I got to go back." And he said, "But look, I did offer to write a little more personalized message on it, so maybe I can find out when he sends it back in for me to finish that customization."
Well, that's an easy one to figure out. I mean, he was the only 30-30 guy in baseball last year. Why wouldn't you not want that jersey?
That's right. That's right. To Byron, I'm sorry you didn't get 30-30 last year, too. Love, Cedric. There's a foul ball from Calhoun. Twins and Orioles, of course, played over the weekend, and Buxton was really good. Hit the walk-off home run on Friday night. Orioles would win the final game of that series, would win yesterday. O's have now played walk-off baseball 3 of the last 4 games. They lost 2 to Minnesota. They beat Texas yesterday. And they're hoping for a much cleaner evening tonight. 4-run second inning, and Voth has made it stick.
Yeah, every time you talk to Brandon Hyde, that's what he says. Boy, it'd be nice to get a laugher every now and then and maybe win 8-1 or 9-2. Orioles have had some close games, but you know, those are the games when you're evaluating talent and you're learning how to win at the big league level. It's the close games that really speed that process up.
Cole Calhoun to the right side under the glove of Mancini. Odor is there. Voth covers. 4-1. Trey couldn't get it in the ship, but Voth got over there. He's through 4 scoreless in his 4th Orioles start. The 4th inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by Toyota RAV4. Now is a great time to reserve your new Toyota. Visit your Baltimore area dealer to learn more. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, how about Austin Voth, huh? 4 innings for the first time as an Oriole in a night where the Orioles need some length from him because the bullpen chewed up 5 1/3 last night. And he's doing it right now, and he's doing it pretty efficiently as well. What, 4 innings of work, only, what, 50 pitches?
And back-to-back 6-pitch innings.
That will work.
He has kept the time of possession in the Orioles' favor. 4 runs in a second on 5 hits. Ryan McKenna had one of them against Spencer Howard. And McKenna takes ball 1. Was a half inning where you really saw one of the Orioles' strengths, their speed, put to good use. Orioles took 3 extra bases in the inning. McKenna, Mateo, and Mullins all. No swing there from Ryan, according to John Bacon. And a base hit up the middle, McKenna. Orioles with 6 hits against Spencer Howard, who's now allowed 13 earned runs in 9 2/3 in the big leagues this year. Strikeout to walk ratio is 13-2. That's very good, but a lot of hits and 6 home runs allowed in 6 2/3 coming into the game. No homers today, but a couple of doubles.
Yeah, you like his stuff. I mean, Howard's got good stuff. Fastball average is 96. But he's just missing. When he misses out over the plate, he gets in trouble.
Orioles fans, the tropical vibes return to the yard this weekend. Saturday, 4:05, the first 25,000 fans 15 and over receive our annual Birdland Hawaiian shirt, the most popular giveaway of 2022. Tickets as low as $15 at Orioles.com/tickets.
July the 9th.
Yes, enter Model McDonald yet again.
Nice and cool.
Have you upsized today on the shirt?
I don't know if it upsized or I lost weight last night, one or the other, but this one definitely fits better.
You sweated out the fireworks?
I think so.
Yeah. You look great.
Thank you.
You
might just keep them on.
Well, keep it on. Let's see what happens this inning.
Yeah, if we score a run or two, we have to keep it on. Off to a good start with leadoff walk by McKenna.
There's some previous iterations of the annual Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, that was last year's shirt, I believe. See if McKenna takes a chance to take an extra 90.
For all of his speed, he usually doesn't push that button. Just 1 for 1 this year. But as we mentioned, this is a good team to run on. I made a good throw earlier, but he's only caught 4 out of 41.
Yeah, it's a lot more to being fast when you talk about learning how to steal a base. And that would be something McKenna, I'm sure, is working on. First base coach Anthony Sanders over at first base. Of course, he keeps a stopwatch in his hand. Every time Howard picks that leg up that goes toward home, stopwatch comes on and you get a reading, and then you get feedback to McKenna. So he'll walk over to McKenna. He'll look at his stopwatch right now and he'll say, you know, 1-3, 1-3-5 to home plate. And typically when it's 1-3-5 or higher, for a guy that has above average speed, that's typically a green light.
There he goes. 2-2. It's a foul ball.
And that's what Anthony Sanders does over at first base. See that stopwatch hanging off his hip right there. You could hear him 147. So he gave him, you could read his lips, 147, and 147 is slow. That's green light. We can see what he says here. Sign's already in.
McKenna has tried one steal in this at bat. That was on the 2-1 pitch. This will be the 6th pitch to Chirinos. Not going. And a perfect breaking ball to get Chirinos looking. 2 strikeouts for Howard. They've both been against Chirinos.
Oh, you can't throw a slider much better than this. Heim set up on the outside part. There's the dot on the front and one on the back as well. Watch this, just perfectly placed on the outside part.
So 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Brings up Mateo, who singled his first time on a 1-2 pitch.
Like McKenna was leaning just a little bit.
Game within the game right now. Sanders and McKenna versus Howard and Heim. And Howard, who already has a pickoff, will throw over again.
Yeah, Howard showed a really good pickoff move when he picked off Cedric Mullins. But he's also showing you it's taking him a little time to unwind. I haven't seen a slide step yet.
Bigger lead for Ryan here. There he goes. Pitch is taken. Throw to second. Not nearly in time. Ryan keeps the base. And the stopwatch plays.
The stopwatch does not lie. And it's not on Jonah Heim at all. That was another good throw. Orioles are picking off some bases on the pitcher, Spencer Howard. This one not even close. Head first.
Oh, 2 for Mateo. Now, the book on the Rangers pitchers this year, they've thrown it well, but they have really not helped defensively. We saw Dane Dunning move very slowly on an infield single yesterday. Not great at holding runners on, not great at fielding their position. That's cost him some games. There's a good block by Heim on ball 1. And the throws we've seen from Jonah Heim did not add up to a catcher who's 4 for 42.
No. And that's got to be frustrating for a catcher because the pitchers just aren't giving him an opportunity. And you call out the numbers, it makes him look bad on some ways, but
Mateo back to the pitcher. Oh my goodness.
well, that right there is a perfect example of what you're talking about.
He had McKenna dead to rights.
I mean, you've got to take the out at second base if you're Spencer Howard. He did everything right but throw the ball to second. So he caught the ball and he'll quickly turn around and he'll take. And McKenna was hung out. McKenna was hung out about 20 foot off the bag. A simple throw to second base would have created a run down, but instead he takes the out over at first base, and McKenna's at third now.
Should be runner at first, 2 down. Instead, it is runner at third. Now a wild pitch or pass ball scores McKenna. Base hit would score him 2, and Mullins had a 2-base hit his last time.
Oh, first changeup of the night.
.65 pitches deep. Finally goes to that changeup.
Well, third time through the lineup, he's trying to show Cedric Mullins something a little bit different.
Does that maybe slow the bat down then for the fastball he followed it with?
Absolutely. Because you put that thought in the hitter's head, oh, he's got a changeup. Oh, he might throw me another one. And sometimes you get ahead in the count. When you show something different, or even when you're not a hit in the count, he can put a thought and you get by with one. Pretty good mix here. So change up, fastball, back to the breaking ball.
Couple of dirt stained jerseys at work here for the O's, and Mullins will hook one to first. It's picked there by Lowe, and he wins the race. Nice play. McKenna stranded. The O's up 4 after 4. Building upon what's important to everyone, that's smart energy. O's and the Rangers tomorrow, and then a 4-gamer with the Angels Thursday on MASN 2, Friday, Saturday on MASN, Sunday you'll be on Peacock. That game, of course, available on the Orioles radio network as well. A little Sunday early afternoon baseball.
A little early start.
Yeah. Happy to welcome our friend from next door, Marcus Peters. Terrific Ravens corner, the 3-time Pro Bowler who missed last year with a torn ACL, and we can't wait to see Marcus back on the field at M&T Bank Stadium for the Ravens this year. Good to have him in our house tonight. We're getting closer to football season.
It's coming quick.
I mean, we're a month plus away from preseason games.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah. So Austin Voth will try to get through 5 for the first time as an Oriole pitcher. He's made it through 4 for the first time as an Oriole pitcher. 6 pitches in the 3rd and the 4th innings each, so the pitch count's still low for Chris Holt and Darren Holmes.
Yeah, you know, he's been ahead mostly, you know, and he's put the Rangers on defense right away. Retired 7 in a row now.
Jonah Heim has the only Texas hit. Nathaniel Lowe followed with the only Texas walk, and as you mentioned, 7 straight since then. 3 strikeouts in the game, all in the first 5 batters. Heim with a high chopper to Odor and make it 8 straight. Hey, Birdland, come join us and celebrate the 30th anniversary of Oriole Park with $10 Utah Street bleacher seats. Every Monday through Thursday home game, you can sit out in Utah Street for $10 with a great view of center field, easy access to booths, the roof deck, the kids corner, and more. Scan the QR code or go to Orioles.com/tickets today. Four and a third now for Voth. Here's Lowe. And that's high. Little flare to the left side. Nathaniel Lowe with the only walk and one of 2 hits for Texas tonight. Mitch Garver a fly out to center field, his first time. So for Voth tonight, Ben, 23 fastballs, 18 curveballs, 15 cutters. What do you think of that 3-pitch mix?
That's a good mix, you know, and there's some analytics to all those pitches. You know, I mean, his fastball, he spins it about 100 RPMs better than the big league average, so that's the reason why he likes to pitch up in the strike zone, and he spins his breaking ball well too. Cutter's got some good action to it. Cutter's right at 90, 89, 90 miles an hour.
Two strikes to Garver. Poke to the right side, a base hit. Another cutter and another Texas hit.
Yeah, Garver with a pretty good piece of hitting here. Down 2 strikes in the count. A little cutter on the outside part of the plate. He just kind of leans out over the plate and finds the barrel out to right field. So first and second and 1 out for the Rangers. Brandon Hyde's going to get on the phone. Hyder would love to get Voth through the 5th here.
Three shy of a season high pitch count. Brad Miller, number 9 hitter, takes ball 1. And there's Keegan Aiken. Pitched 2 days ago, but only 2/3 of an inning in the game. Last time Voth made it through 5 was his final start of 2020. Garrett Richards up for Texas. That season, 11 games, all starts with the Nationals. September the 27th, 2020, his last start that was this long. And a pop foul from Miller, 2-1. Lowe and Garver the runners for Miller. 214 hitter, 267 on base. And now Joey Crable joining Aiken. What do you like on 2 strikes for Austin?
Well, he's had a lot of success up in the strike zone. A few fastballs up, a few of those cutters up. But he'd love a ground ball right here. He hadn't created many ground balls, but he'd love to roll one here. A chance for a double play and get off the field.
That's a ground ball foul. And that's a souvenir. I think that woman took the picture of the kid who got the foul ball early. That's the kid right to his right. It appears to be 2 foul balls for the family.
That's a good night.
6 pitch to Miller is gashed to left field. 1 hop to McKenna. And Texas will bring the tying run to the plate on 3 straight singles from the 3 bottom hitters.
And have they all been on the cutter?
They have.
Yeah. And that cutter's been up, not up where he wants it, where he had some success, kind of right just about what I'd call medium height, and that's the one that gets hit pretty hard.
So 3rd time through the lineup, Brandon Hyde's going to make the switch. Season high pitch count, season high innings count for Voth. He'll leave with the lead. The Orioles bullpen will try to hold it.
And a solid night it has been for him so far, leaving the bases loaded, but elevated the fastball up to get Simeon for his first strikeout. There's a cutter left up in the zone. Garcia goes down. And a really good breaking ball down as Calhoun punches out his 3rd punch out. So 4 1/3, 4 hits. He's responsible for everybody on base. Walked 1 and struck out 3. And it's time for the Orioles pitching change by Jiffy Lube. Did you know that Jiffy Lube multi-care stores do brake services? Stop in for a free brake inspection, oil change, and more. Now that's a job for Jiffy. Yeah, I thought Voth kind of got away from what made him successful early in the game. Fastballs up Left some cutters in the middle part of the plate. And it's time for Keegan Aiken making his 21st appearance. A very solid ERA of 2.3. He's been busy. 46 2/3 of work, 39 strikeouts, and opponents only hitting 164 off the left-hander Keegan Aiken.
Both will look on. Hope that Aiken can do a little bit of stranding against the leadoff hitter Josh Smith. 3 straight hits from the bottom of the lineup. And now at the top, ball 1 to Smith.
Yeah, and a pretty tough customer here. Just the rookie, just kind of getting his feet wet, but a pretty good understanding of the strike zone for Josh Smith.
High into center field. Mullins is there. He is ready. Everybody's tagging. Lowe scores. Garver goes to third. Throw is into second. Sacrifice fly Josh Smith. Rangers on the board. Aiken gets out number 2.
I think if you're the Orioles, you'll take that. The question is now, can Aiken draw a line in the sand?
It was an uncharacteristic Sunday for Keegan Aiken, who came into the game and we thought maybe he'll get the final 9 outs. The way he's thrown with length this season. 2 innings or more, his first 19 relief outings of the year. That's a big league record to start a season. And he lasted just 2/3 of an inning. Faced 4 batters, gave up a hit and a walk. It's not very accurate. 2 days later, he faces Semien and starts him with a strike. That's more like it for Aiken, who has the 2nd best strike percentage in the big leagues. 69.7% of his pitches, nearly 7 of 10, have been strikes.
Well, that's been the difference for Keegan Aiken in 2022 versus 2021.
Oh, that's off the bag. That is an absolutely brutal bounce for the Orioles. That looked like it was going right to Urias, who would have had a great shot at first. Instead, it is a gift-wrapped RBI single for Semien.
Yeah, Semien runs pretty good. But I'm with you on this one. Ramon Urias maybe would have made this play. It would have been a tough play on the backhand side. Ball hits right on top of the bag.
Semi-charm kind of grounder for Semien. His 35th RBI of the year. The Rangers are within 2, and here's Seager. And Seager, a first pitch attack. 1 hop in front of Mullins. That will score Miller. Mullins' throw is into third. Semien is safe there. Corey Seager, the most aggressive first pitch swinger in the majors, with a first pitch RBI single. And the Rangers have 3 runs in the last 4 pitches.
Well, just a fastball served the other way, and Cedric Mullins quickly gets it. You knew one run was going to score, but Semien runs right in the face of Cedric Mullins and goes first to third. The Rangers have pushed home 3 here in the top of the 5th.
And Urias didn't keep the tag on there as he looked over at first in case Seager was leading. And he kept the glove on. Maybe he would have caught Semien in midair. All 3 runs charged to Voth. And now a strike to Garcia. Aiken had only allowed 2 of 10 inherited runners to score coming into the game. Tying run is Semien at third with Seager behind him. Strikeout, flyout for Garcia tonight, and a 3-1 count. Aiken is not spotting that changeup.
Just not been able to get ahead, and that's 2 outings in a row. You know, and it's kind of the same what we saw his last time out. Wasn't able to work ahead. You talk about the high percentage of strikes that he has thrown this year. Well, this is a bad situation here. Luis Garcia, a very good fastball hitter. 15 homers, 51 RBIs on the year.
He was a little bit too ready there. Yanked one foul at 112 off the bat.
Well, Aiken wasn't wanting to give in and threw a changeup instead of a fastball in the fastball count.
Sixth in the American League in extra base hits, tied for 9th in RBIs. The 29-year-old Garcia. And a chopper on 3-2. Odor waits, picks it low in time to first. The Rangers get all 3 inherited runs. The Orioles lead is 1 midway through the 5th. Xfinity Mobile. Join the millions who are already saving by adding Xfinity Mobile to their internet. And Bennett was a powerful second inning for the Birds.
Yeah, doing it with runners in scoring position and 2 out, where they've had a few struggles this year. And boy, they got some breaking balls up in the zone and made Spencer Howard pay for it. The Orioles would push home 4 in the second inning, but the Rangers now have pushed across 3 in the top of the 5th, and we got a 1-run ball game. Spencer Howard's night is complete. 4 innings of work for him. He gives up 6 hits, 4 runs. They all were earned, walked 2, and struck out 2 as well. 68 pitches, 42 of which were strikes. He'll give way to the right-hander Garrett Richards. Richards on the year making his 21st appearance, a solid ERA. Better than a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and opponents hitting just .202 off the right-hander Garrett Richards.
Formerly of the Angels and Red Sox, somebody who's always been known as having a very high spin curveball. Richards on 3 days rest against Mancini, Santander, and Rutschman. All the runs scored in 2 innings tonight. 4 in the second for the Orioles, 3 in the 5th for Richards Rangers. RBI double in the second for Trey. Who did swing there, 0-2. That was career hit number 699 for Trey, who is close to a big round number. Those are the only Orioles with fewer games to 700 career hits. So he could jump Adam Jones for the 6th fastest to 700. Not going to do it here, though. Tight slider from Richards for a 3-pitch strikeout.
Yeah, there's one of those breaking balls that you're talking about from Garrett Richards. Fastball's pretty good and he'll sink it, but there's a really good slider. You see where it starts and where it ends up. Throws that slider about 37% of the time. Curveball, not nearly as much, about 4% of the time. So mostly fastball, slider.
It's up high to Santander. That's up high from Santander. And Simeon makes the play. It's an interesting season for Richards last season, who again was known as having a very high spin curveball, but has talked about how he used sunscreen and rosin his whole career to grip the ball. And he couldn't do it last year when Major League Baseball cracked down on pitchers using foreign substances. So he felt like the curveball lost its shape when he couldn't grip the ball as much. And his repertoire has completely changed as a result.
Yeah, and I don't think that's uncommon. I think a lot of guys struggle with that, especially right in the middle of the season.
On an 0 for Rutschman. Last season, Richards started throwing a changeup which he had never thrown consistently in his career. It scattered it in early in his career. Started throwing it right after the foreign substance crackdown at the end of June. Only threw it 7% of the time. This year he's thrown it 36%. He really worked hard on it in the offseason. And the pitch has been great. 4 for 32 against. And the 4 hits are all singles.
There it is right there. It's a hard changeup. I mean, the fastball is right around, 94 miles an hour. But watch this changeup. I mean, it's late action, but it's hard. That changeup average is right there at 90 miles an hour.
And another one to get Rutschman looking. A 1-2-3 for Richards. A 1-run game through 5. Is live, inspired by June's Lou Gehrig Day. We invite kids to write an essay explaining why they consider themselves to be the luckiest person alive. Your essays must be submitted by Thursday, this Thursday, July 7th. Learn more about the challenge and prizes at Orioles.com/SummerSlugger. On to the 6th we go. The Rangers and the Orioles under a beautiful July sky.
It got muggy after the rain got out of here. Felt like the humidity bumped up a notch or two.
Hopefully that doesn't mean there's more rain coming our way. Knock on wood. Forecast looked good last we saw as Cole Calhoun foul tips one from Keegan Aiken. There was a huge downpour right around 3:45, 4 o'clock for about 5 minutes. Both teams' pitchers were throwing outside. Had to quickly sprint into the dugouts. But it stayed dry since then, as always. Wonderful job by Nicole Sherry and her grounds crew to get this field in pristine condition. So Keegan Aiken hoping a clean inning will do him wonders against 5, 6, and 7. Lefty switch lefty. Cole Calhoun, pretty good swing there, but Mullins right on top of it and left center.
Yeah, Aiken needs a quick inning. Feel like the Rangers, although the Orioles still have the lead, feels like the Rangers have all the momentum right now.
Jonah Heim will bat right-handed. Single and a ground out from the other side of the plate. To third, that's a fair ball. And a nice play on the run by Urias.
Urias makes it look easy in the infield to the backhand side. See how he kind of circles that ball a little bit, gets a little bit of that momentum going towards first base across the body. Has just enough time. Urias has always had a good internal clock, knowing how much time he has no matter where you put him. Shortstop, third base, second base.
Yeah, he's graded out very highly as one of the Orioles' best defenders at third base this year. Here's low. That's a strike. Nathaniel Lowe actually better against lefties this year by quite some margin. Slugging percentage 211 points higher against lefties versus righties. 5 of his 11 home runs have come in left-on-left matchups. Did he go? No. It's a very controlled, slow motion, no swing from John Tumpain out there.
Yeah, I like this pitch by Keegan Aiken. Change the eye level just a little bit. Boy, that was close.
If John Tumpain said it, I believe it, because he was about perfect behind the plate yesterday.
He was good.
We like to follow the Scorecards account, one of the umpire grading systems online, and by their scoring system, John Tempane got one called pitch wrong in the game yesterday, and it was in the first inning. And come to think of it, I'm not sure we mentioned his name more than 2 or 3 times. Todd Titzner's been very good behind the plate tonight as well. Up the middle, back to Aiken. Maybe a break was what Keegan needed. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th.
We're going higher. Zoom, zoom, too fast. Right back. Fly by. I'm supersonic, supersonic. I'm moving faster than the speed of sound. I go bionic, go bionic.
Back here to Camden Yards, where you can see Ben has taken off the Hawaiian shirt.
It did not work. We gave up some runs and we didn't get any runs, and so I said for another day.
Try it again tomorrow. There's a ground out from Urias against Garrett Richards.
Well, this Oriole offense has gone cold. 4 in the 2nd inning, but only 1 base runner since the 2nd inning.
Sort of feels like the story of the Minnesota series, doesn't it? Orioles got out to a lead in the 2nd game, built a lead in the 3rd game, couldn't add on with some late runs against the Twins bullpen, and Minnesota crept back into a couple of games. Whatever you want to call them, tack on runs, add on runs, insurance runs, or just plain runs. Just get some more of them. It's a good Texas bullpen, though. Not quite as good as the Orioles, which is 4th in the majors, 3.21 ERA, but pretty close. 6th best ERA in the bigs, 3.29. These are 2 of the most improved teams in Major League Baseball, and it starts with the pitching, where both staffs have made enormous jumps from last season to this season.
I mean, the Rangers lost 102 games last year, and they had a very high ERA. Right at a 4.8 ERA, so their ERA is just about a run per game better this year than what it was last year.
2 4th-year managers who have seen their fortunes tick up this year. Brandon Hyde, Chris Woodward. Here's the largest decrease in ERA last season to this season. Texas' 3rd largest decrease, in the Orioles just lapping the field in that category. Obviously the ERA was worst in the league last year, but they've dropped it by close to 2 earned runs per 9. Richards to Odor. There's ball 3. Shift is on for the 7-year Texas Ranger. Marcus Semien playing the position Odor held for a long time. And Odor hits it right to him. Fans, the MLB Ballpark app is a must for your next visit to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. You can buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. If you don't have it yet, download the Ballpark app today. Five up, 5 down for Richards out of the Ranger bullpen.
Yeah, you can see now why Richards is having a really good year. ERA was solid, but he's got a nice pitch mix. And that's a hard changeup for him. A fastball that kind of maxes out at 94, 95. We saw one changeup up to 92, but it's got a little bit different movement than the fastball.
And there's the slider. 0-2 for McKenna.
And he looks like he'd be a little bit tougher on righties and lefties because he kind of throws a little bit across his body. Where that right foot starts on the rubber and where he lands, he's almost stepping towards the right-handed hitter. And typically that results in a lot better opponent's batting average against righties versus lefties.
How many pitchers you know whose changeup is 2 to 4 miles an hour of a fastball? Maybe Zach Greinke, who throws both about 85.
Greinke would be about the only one that I can think of. I mean, typical, and it's gotten closer over the years. It used to be 12 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour difference. Feels like the last 3 or 4 years, it feels like it's 6 to 8, but 2 to 3 is very rare.
I mean, Sandy Alcantara with Miami throws his about 92, but he also throws about 98, 99.
Right, the difference. It's kind of like Bautista's split finger fastball. The fastball averages 99, but the split, it can be firm. We've seen that split 92.
Pitch number 5 to McKenna, who has singled, walked, stolen a base. And he is out. Seager with a leaping grab, and 2 perfect innings for Garrett Richards.
Corey Seager, a big for a shortstop, a little bit over 6'4", and he just goes up the ladder for the 3rd out in the bottom of the 6th inning. We got a ball game. Orioles still up by 1.
Brought to you by PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier. A look there at the top, the Angels, who roll in next, currently losing 2-0 to the Marlins. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Tampa Bay and Boston all tangled up at Fenway in the bottom of the 5th. Yankees trailing the Pirates in Pittsburgh, and a late night one tonight. Toronto wraps up the AL East at 9:40 tonight against the Oakland Athletics. Of course, they're out in California, but you don't want to go anywhere just yet. We will find out if Austin Voth, with one of his best starts of the season so far, gets a little more of that offensive support that we saw yesterday from the Orioles, and if they can pull out a win. But either way, win or lose, guys, we'll break it all down for you right here after the game on O's Extra Post Game.
That we know for sure, Mel, and hopefully for the Orioles, it is a 3rd straight win. Keegan Aiken with a strike to Mitch Garver. I want to go back to one of those scores that Mel just showed. The Marlins leading the Angels 2-0. Because we mentioned Sandy Alcantara last inning, and we were talking about him before the game and the season he's having. He is through 8 innings of 2 hit, no run, no walk, 10 strikeout ball. I know the Orioles don't play the Marlins this year as Dylan Tate gets loose, but this is the 8th time in 17 starts Sandy Alcantara has thrown 8 or more innings. And in 2022, that's Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Yeah, he is chewing up, and he started doing it right away. I mean, chewing up innings.
I mean, he's thrown 7 innings or more in 12 out of 17 starts. He leads the big leagues in innings pitched.
Yeah, Robbie Ray is in 2nd in innings pitched. He began the night 9 innings behind Alcantara. So I like Manoah on the list. Aaron Nola. But yeah, that is a lot of innings pitched. You wonder what he'll look like down the stretch.
That's into right. This is trouble, and this is a home run to tie the game. Mitch Garver goes flag courting. His 2nd home run of the series, and the Rangers have scored the last 4.
Yep, a 3-run home run last night off of Dean Kramer. He pulled that one to left center field. This one opposite way on the flag court. 4-seam fastball. There's a really good look at it. It's elevated. A little bit of a late swing, but he finds the barrel. It almost looked like it was a pop-up leaving the bat, but that's a short porch out there in right field. Pretty good piece of hitting to be able to go up and get on top of that ball and get enough of the barrel to it.
So Garver, who was the American League's Silver Slugger at catcher in 2019, it's his 10th home run of the season. He's now the 7th Texas Ranger with 10 home runs this year. 4th most in the American League, 103 now for the Rangers.
Yeah, I think that's been, other than the pitching for the Rangers, I think the long balls is the biggest story for them. I mean, you mentioned 4th best in the American League this year. Last year, they were towards the bottom, 14th out of 15 teams. They only hit 167. Of course, you add Semien and Corey Seager to the mix, and that never hurts.
They don't play in a big home run park either. They used to at the ballpark in Arlington. Globe Life Field, though, in its first couple of years has graded out as very much a pro pitcher's park and a little bit below average as a home run park. Miller into center field. This is very well hit at the wall. Mullins will pull it in. Oof.
Yeah, I think so. That sounded loud going off the bat. Unfortunate enough for the Orioles and Keegan Aiken, it was to the biggest part of the ballpark, pushes Cedric Mullins all the way up against the wall.
Left-hander and Josh Smith here. The righty and Semien on deck, and Tate up in the bullpen. We'll see if Aiken will make it to Semien as he starts Smith with a strike. 1 for 7 in the series, walk and a sac fly. Texas might be the only team in the majors with back-to-back hitters in the lineup without batting gloves. Miller and Smith.
Yeah, Josh Smith, a lot like Austin Hayes, kind of plays the game with his hair on fire, and he's always been like that. When he was at LSU, there's a look at Austin Hayes.
Did he wear batting gloves at LSU?
Didn't wear them at LSU either.
.62 major league plate appearances, only 10 strikeouts. This one a hook to Odor. 2 down. And here comes Brandon Hyde. Keegan Aiken 2 1/3 tonight, gives up the tying homer to the 7th, and Tate will come on. Where you can now catch the Orioles anytime and anywhere on the all-new MASN app. Watch live games and receive expert analysis and team coverage from our MASN insiders with real-time action, scores, and stats all in the palm of your hand. Scan the QR code on screen or go to masnsports.com and download the MASN app today.
Oh, there is Dylan Tate making his 35th appearance of the year. Outstanding ERA, 31 strikeouts, only 7 walks, and opponents hitting .229 off the right-hander Dylan Tate.
Well, the last we saw of Tate, he picked up the save on Sunday in Minnesota with Jorge Lopez and Felix Bautista unavailable. Not a save situation here, but if you look at this spot in the lineup, Brandon Hyde is bringing Tate in against Semien, Seager, and Garcia, assuming he stays in for the 8th. And Semien hooks a slider. Rios up against the netting, will not have a play. Then he has to play self-defense.
That just ran out of room. And boy, almost got it on the ricochet off the net. Look out. Ball comes right back at him. That might be one there where the net cost you an out, because Rios might have been able to lean into the stands and make that play.
Semien brought in a run with a base hit off the third base bag in the 5th inning. And he goes down here. How about those changeups from Tate? Wicked stuff to end the 7th. Time for tonight's Miller Lite moment. Once again, Cedric Mullins facing a pitcher for a second time delivered. His numbers second time are ridiculous, and tonight it was a 2-run double off Spencer Howard in the second inning.
Yeah, hunting a fastball, and Cedric Mullins has been on time on the fastballs as of late, and that swing right there was a double, drove in 2. That was the big inning for the Orioles, a 4-run second inning, but the Rangers have come all the way back and tied it up. There is Dennis Santana, who pitched last night, just 2/3, but 1 strikeout last night, making his 34th appearance of the year. Outstanding ERA, 1.44. 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and opponents hitting just 155 off the tall right-hander, Dennis Santana.
Second best ERA in the Ranger bullpen. And he will start by giving Chirinos something to think about.
That'll get your attention. 96 right up by your chin. That's not fair. 96 up and in, and the slider on the outside corner.
The 26-year-old who began his career as an infielder in the Dodgers system. And he can move it.
Yeah, that's almost Dylan Tate-like sinking movement there.
Garrett Richards, 2 perfect innings, struck out 2. Only 21 pitches, 15 strikes to do so.
Yeah, he was really good. And he gave the Rangers a chance, and that chance, they have come all the way back and tied this thing.
2-2 for Chirinos. Chirinos, Mateo, Mullins, 8-9-1 for the Orioles in the 7th. Austin Hayes, Ryan Mountcastle both on the bench today. Their availability in question. Hayes with a sore wrist. Mountcastle with a sinus issue. Chirinos now. He will swing at a slider. Would have been ball 3. Instead, it is strike 3.
Not a comfortable at bat at all for Robinson Chirinos.
Well, we've seen Santana face 3 batters, and they have been 3 fairly uncomfortable at bats. Struck out Mateo yesterday with a sinker outside. Mateo, the game-winning RBI yesterday by standing there and taking a fastball from Matt Moore off the quad with the bases loaded. RBI single today. He's now driven in a run in 4 straight starts. Dennis Santana is a StatCast darling. Top 10% in the league in hard hit rate against, chase rate outside the zone, and fastball velocity and walk rate. Might be top 10 percentile in the league in time between pitches too. He may not be ready for the pitch clock next year. Just got a piece.
Yeah, it's going to see how that all plays out next year. Jorge Mateo yesterday. That was it. Trying to come inside with a fastball, bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 10th inning, and a walk-off hit by pitch as he limped down to first base with a little help from his friends.
chopper here. Santana. Oh my gosh, he got him. That looked to be an impossible play against Mateo. Whether he was out or safe, and obviously the Orioles are taking a look. That's an amazing play.
Well, we've heard that the Ranger pitchers have had trouble fielding their position, but not on that one. Dennis Santana with an outstanding play, and I'm still not sure that Jorge Mateo is out at first base.
Call at first base.
Boy, this is so close. Off the dirt, a high chopper, but look at Santana. Backpedals and all-in-one motion. A rocket over to first, and a pretty good finish by Lowe on the back end as he stretches out. And you know Jorge Mateo can get down the line. I'm looking at the back of the glove, and the foot is there. I mean, it all gets there at the same time to me. Is there enough to overturn it? That is the question.
When does the ball not just get in the glove, but when does the glove close around the ball, begin to close around the ball? That's the question.
Foot is there now. Boy, that is close.
I don't know if the glove began to close in time. It's so close, and the call on the field is important here.
After review, the call on the field stands, runners out. Baltimore loses their challenge.
It's just not enough there. Just not enough there to overturn that one.
Well, that may be as good a play as you'll see a pitcher make. There's the freeze. Ball is.
It's in the back of the glove.
Yeah, the glove's starting to close. Remember, we told you Santana came up as an infielder, and I guess he didn't forget how to play infield.
Well, that's just one of those plays. If he'd have called him safe and they'd have reviewed it, it'd stayed safe too. But that was huge because obviously Mateo, if he would have got on there, a threat to steal second base and get him to scoring position.
So now Mullins. First inning walk was picked off first by Spencer Howard, doubled in 2 in the second. Sharp ground out to first base in the fourth. He struck the ball well again tonight. There's a changeup from Santana.
Yo, Cedric Mullins is starting to cover the ball on the outside part of the plate again like he did last year. Remember early in the year he's pulling off a lot of stuff, wasn't staying on it quite long enough. And there's an area in there, if you get it on the outside part of the plate, you can get him to roll over it. But if you leave it on the outer third, where the home run was last night, where the double was tonight, if you just get it to the outer third, he can cover it right now.
Target was on the outer third, and the pitch was low. Green light him, 3-0.
I think so. As hot as he's been, I mean, you go back to like the last 10 or 11 games, he has been seeing it well. If he gets a heater on the outer third.
The world may never know.
Well, the good news is he may not be over at first base very long.
Here comes Doug Mathis. Two walks for Mullins today. Third game this season with 2 walks for him. His offensive credentials continue to be bolstered.
Well, this is when the old stopwatch is going to come into play. And Cedric Mullins is over there talking to first base with Anthony Sanders, first base coach.
Well, we have not seen Santana work with a runner on base yet in this series. Retired the first 4 he faced. Orioles have 2 steals tonight. McKenna and Mateo, plus Mullins picked off in the first, so they've stolen a couple of bases. That was not a caught stealing, but the run game has been a major factor here. Not going to start on a fair ball. Oh, it's lost on the transfer by Smith. And the Orioles have 2 aboard.
Trey Mancini out in front of a breaking ball. Just a little two hopper down the line. Josh Smith comes in, does everything right in the glove, but on that transfer from glove to throw in hand. Watch it, just when he pops it out, he just can't get control of it. All right, Orioles have been really good. 3 for 7 runners in scoring position tonight. One of their better nights in some time.
Strike one to Santander. And that is officially scored an infield single for Trey Mancini. The Oriole leader in infield singles.
It's the speed.
The speed demon. Santana to Santander. That ball is drilled into right field. Mullins will get the wave around Calhoun's throw. Never going to be in time. Go ahead, base hit, 7th inning. Anthony Santander, the Orioles back on top.
Boy, this is a welcome sight if you're an Oriole fan. Hitting with 2 out, hitting with runners in scoring position. You talk about on time for a two-seam fastball. That one catches a little bit too much of the plate. Anthony Santander with a rocket right over Marcus Simeon's head. No doubt Cedric Mullins will score with the speed that he has, and the Orioles have the lead here in the 7th.
Then the last 4 games, runners in scoring position. The Orioles 4 for 30 tonight, 4 for 8.
Yeah, I mean, you go back. They started in the Seattle series, 2 for 18, 2 for 18 in the Twins against the Twins. But on time tonight. And that's always the difference for me. I mean, that's where you start. When you look at the ball game, you go to the box score. That's one place to start. You go back to the beginning of that road trip against the White Sox. The Orioles were 9 for 33 in those 3 games. They hit 273. They won 3 of those 4 ball games.
Rutschman try to boost the lead. 0 for 3 tonight. Takes ball 2. You noted against Spencer Howard, he was late on some fastballs and some fastball counts. So I wonder what he's thinking 2-0 here.
Well, this is one of these swings. I don't care if he, you know, if Santana spins a changeup or a breaking ball and Rutschman swings and misses by 3 feet, who cares? But don't be late on the fastball. If you get something you can handle, don't be late here.
And it was a changeup, and he took it.
Rutschman's always had good plate discipline. And for me, he's got the green light all day long right here.
He has never put a 3-0 pitch in play in his short big league career. And he never will in this at-bat. 2 out, nobody on, and the Orioles have put 4 straight runners aboard. They've loaded the bases for Ramon Urias. How quickly Santana has gone from untouchable to unraveling in this 7th inning. Urias 1 out of 3. And a ground ball through the right side. Mancini scores. Santander scores. Urias going to second. He is safe. 2 runs are in. 3 runs have scored in the 7th. Urias comes through, and it is 7-4 Baltimore.
Do it, boys. That's the Ramon Urias from 2021 right there. Runners in scoring position, and look where he hits the ball again. He wears out the opposite field. It's a ground ball that just scoots right by Marcus Simeon. 2 runs would score, Adley Rutschman goes from first to third. Urias on the relay throw, he takes an extra 90 feet. So 3 runs home. Runners on second and third, and still 2 out.
He was 2 for 15 in his career with the bases loaded, Urias. And this year just 5 for 41 with runners in scoring position. And now the Orioles' 5th hit tonight with runners in scoring position.
Oh, and how big now was a play not made by the third baseman for the Rangers, Josh Smith.
Changed the game on a little slow ground ball. And both teams have had a fortunate ground ball down the third base line today. That's going to be it for Santana. A 3-run 7th and counting for the O's.
Put the fire out for the Rangers because the Orioles have been on a roll with runners in scoring position. It's a crazy game. The Orioles put 4 runs up in the second inning, and then 16 go to the plate, and 15 out of the 16 are retired. And then all of a sudden, against one of the better relievers in the American League, and Dennis Santana, the Orioles put a 3-spot up.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's baseball.
It's just I mean, Santana, for the first 4 batters in this series we faced, looked like there was no chance the Orioles could touch him. And the league this year against Santana in runners in scoring position 2-out situations was 2 for 18. In this inning, Orioles were 3 for 3 plus a walk.
Yeah, and how could you see that coming off of Santana after 16 come to the plate and 15 make out? I mean, it was only Ryan McKenna that walked back in the 4th inning. Other than that, it was in order.
Should say 2 for 2 plus a walk. The Trey hit was with Mullins at first, but still 4 straight reaching with a runner on base, 5 in a row overall. Odor will be the 8th Oriole to bat here in the 7th inning. And John King.
How did that ball miss him? Or did it?
Did he hit it? Odor is acting like he was hit, but apparently not. Mel, you got something?
Kevin, you mentioned this the last inning, and of course there was so much going on this one, but Trey's at bat, that's hit 700.
There it is. Yeah, we totally forgot it, all the madness, Mel. That's the big round number. Number 700 of his Oriole career. 6th fastest to get there. Odor into center field, and Garcia is there. Quite a 7th inning it was. A milestone for Trey and a big hit for Ramon Urias.
Ramon Urias doing what he does best and using the opposite field. A base hit, and that's 2 more runs. Orioles push across 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to take a 3-1 lead. Little bouncer down the line. Dennis Santana in to get a 2-hopper by Trey Mancini. Josh Smith over at third base cannot make the play. Transfer from glove to throw in hand. Gives the Orioles an extra opportunity, and then 1 batter later, Anthony Santander laces a single out to right field. That would push home 1. And then, of course, a 2 RBI single after that by Ramon Urias. The Orioles have a 3-run lead. For the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam.
Mancini, Santander, a little fist pump. Urias, big hits against Santana. Orioles 6 outs away from their 3rd straight win. That's infield hit number 11 for Trey Mancini, by the way. That will sneak him into the top 10 in the American League for infield hits, which we will have to let Trey know after the game. And it was his 700th career hit.
Think he knows that was number 700?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
It's sort of a random number. It's a big round number. It's a dangerous part of the order. This game far from finished. And Seager with a 3-0 swing away. And Seager with a 3-0 single. 2 hits for Corey Seager tonight. Nick Vespi is up in the Oriole bullpen. And that looked like Joey Crable walking right behind him. Maybe to start soft tossing. It might be an unusual construction of the bullpen tonight for Brandon Hyde, because Felix Bautista and Jorge Lopez have thrown 3 of the last 4 games. Ciano Perez has worked quite a bit of late as well. Brandon Hyde and Freddie Gonzalez are going over the lineup card matchups right now, it looks like. And again, Tate, who might be your closer with the pitchers not available, comes in the 7th because this is the meat of the order. So it might be the higher leverage pitcher now. And then Crable or Vespi later.
Well, Calhoun's on deck, left-handed. So maybe Vespi getting ready for him. Well, Garcia has had some wild swings tonight. I mean, they're always kind of wild, but they've been really wild.
Oh, I can feel it up here.
If you're waving at me, howdy, huh? Breaking ball and then a really good changeup. For me, that changeup's been Dylan Tate's best pitch. Watch the bottom fall out of it. That's a great look at how he turns that thing over, almost like a screwball action, but watch the action to it. Looks like a fastball out of the hand.
I don't know how Garcia doesn't have back problems. Statcast pretty soon, you figure, we'll be keeping track of hardest swings in the league. Forget exit velocity.
At least he choked up a little bit on a 2-strike approach.
Cole Calhoun with a big swing. Another good changeup. Both strikeouts have been on the changeup for Tate tonight. Both were to righties, but obviously he can tail it away from lefties very effectively.
Well, that's another good one, too. And that's what makes Tate so difficult, right? Because the fastball can tick up in the mid-90s. So you really got to get it down and get it going if you're going to catch up to the fastball. But it's the changeup for me is the perfect difference in the fastball velocity-wise. Just about 10 miles an hour off.
Just keep throwing it. The league is 6 for 43 against that pitch this year. Swing and miss rate of nearly 40%.
Yeah, it's as good tonight as we've seen it in a while.
3 straight to Calhoun, and a 4th, and another strikeout.
Wow. Dylan Tate's got this changeup dancing like a minnow in shallow water. How about that one?
Three strikeouts in the game, 34 and 39 1/3 this season. Best strikeout to walk ratio in the Oriole bullpen, creeping near 5-1. That one's too far outside to Jonah Heim. Going back to Garcia, I think that's 6 changeups in a row. There's a fastball popped up. Urias. His old friend, the netting, in the way again. Nice catch. Barehanded play.
Did you see the hot dog eating contest yesterday?
I missed it. No.
Joey Chestnut won again, I think, for the 15th consecutive. No surprise. But what was crazy about it is a guy jumped up on the stage with a sign or whatever, and while he's shoving hot dogs and buns down, he gets the guy in a headlock, throws him to the ground, and just never misses a beat.
Was that in the middle of
right in the middle of it?
Yeah,
right in the middle of the competition. He just grabs him in a chokehold and throws him down. Security grabs him, and Joey never missed a beat. Just shoving down hot dogs and buns. 63 of them or 64 of them, whatever it was. Like, how do you do that?
How do you do any of it? I'm told by our producer Don he was on his 17th hot dog when he did that.
I'm not sure what dog it was, but it was a replay going when I got back to the room last night, so I was like, I got to watch this.
Oh, you're saying you don't trust Don?
No, I just want to watch hot dog contest. I'm not sure which one it was. I forget how many minutes they have, but whatever it is, it's amazing that you can eat that many hot dogs.
I would love to call the hot dog contest. You think you and I could do that next year?
The guy's doing it's really good. Like, he's really good. I was paying attention to him.
Yeah. I think alternate broadcast, though.
Play-by-play on a hot dog eating contest?
ESPN's all about the alternate broadcasts. You, me, Peyton, and Eli. Little dribbler 3-2. Tying run is on deck. That's Lowe, who has 11 home runs. Heim, the batter, now with 12. Trying to swing Texas back into the game after Tate struck out Garcia and Calhoun. So we pitch number 8 to Heim. Seager still at first. And that is ball 4. So tying run coming to the plate. Brandon Hyde coming to the mound. Looks like a pinch hitter is coming for Texas, but it is the left hand in the air. It will be Nick Vespi against, we'll see when we return.
No, but he leaves runners on first and second with 2 out. Be up to Nick Vespi, the left-hander, making his 12th appearance in the Oriole uniform. Undefeated record, 4.8 on the ERA in 13 innings. He's punched out 13. Only given up 1 home run. Opponents hitting .239 off the left-hander, Nick Vespi.
Well, a really good changeup for Dylan Tate. Rangers swung at 8 changeups and missed 7. But he could not get the final out, walking Jonah Heim. And Vespi, with the Orioles 4 outs away, will try to get low. Looked like Texas might have a pinch hitter coming out. Instead, it was just Mitch Garver jumping in front of Lowe. And it is a lefty-lefty matchup. Again, Lowe very good against lefties. And a little number here against Vespi. Mentioned the numbers a couple of innings ago, but again, the slugging percentage for Lowe about 200 points higher against lefties.
Yeah, you didn't think they were going to take him out because obviously he can change the game quickly. 11 home runs, 34 RBIs.
His best numbers are against off-speed pitches. 371, 600 slugging percentage against off-speed pitches this year. Now Vespi doesn't have a changeup, cutter, curveball, slider. 1-2.
Well, that's what Lowe does so well right there. He uses the opposite field, and even more so against left-handers. But it begins with his approach. And when you get a lefty on lefty matchup, the left-handed hitters that are really good are the ones that stay in there. Their front shoulder. There's no leaking out towards first base, leaking out toward the first base dugout. If you watch him stride, he strides right at the pitcher.
In the air to right field. Lowe has tied the game. Another left on left homer. And we are 7-7 in the 8th.
Well, that's why there was never really any thought about taking Nathaniel Lowe out of the ball game, because he can handle some left-handers. 437 feet, 110 off the bat, and it's a slider that stays up, and it is screaming, hit me the entire time. And Nate Lowe right on time. This one easily gets out of the ballpark, and we are all new again.
Seven runs in the last 4 innings for Texas. And now Mitch Garver, who homered last inning. 2 of the runs charged to Tate. Probably pitched a little better than his line will indicate. 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, struck out 3.
Yeah, and same thing with Austin Voth, right? Leave the bases loaded, and all 3 of them end up scoring. Boy, that, you know, sometimes that can be the difference of your ERA. And if you're lucky and guys are able to leave runners out there, the ERA looks a lot better. Nathaniel Lowe now 12 homers on the year, 37 RBIs.
2-2 to Garver. Bottom of the 8th, it'll be McKenna, Chirinos, Mateo due up for the Orioles. And maybe we'll find out if Hayes or Mountcastle are available. That one hooked to short. Mateo on a hop steps into it. Oh, and the throw is low, not picked by Trey. So the Rangers have the go-ahead run on. E6, the 11th error of the season against Mateo.
Had a pretty routine play here to the backhand side, but plenty of time, but the throw just was not good enough. Mancini, all he can do over at first, tries to pick it off the dirt, but it gets by him.
Texas will pinch run for Garver. It is Leody Taveras pinch running for the Rangers in the DH spot. Brad Miller 1 for 3. And Joey Crable probably going to face Josh Smith in this inning or the next. Orioles hope it is the next. There have only been runs scored in 5 half innings in this game. Orioles have put up a 4 and a 3. The Rangers a 3, a 1, and a 3. Runners on the move. Miller into the shift. Odor from way out in right field, and Trey did keep the foot on the bag, we think. That should end the inning. Another big stretch for Mancini. Rangers are taking a look, and they'll say play on. We're going to the 8th. Going to have to be 8 to win it tonight. The telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Well, another roller coaster ride here at Camden Yards. Orioles have had a 4-run lead erased. They took the lead. It was erased again. Rangers like an army of steamrollers offensively. Nathaniel Lowe with a 3-run homer. After yesterday, the O's led by 2, trailed by 3, tied the game, trailed, tied the game. and won it in 10.
Yeah, it's been a lot of two-out magic by both of these teams.
Rangers have scored 5 of their runs with 2 outs. The Orioles have scored all 7 of their runs with 2 outs.
Orioles 5 for 10 runners in scoring position, and the Rangers, how about that, 4 for 6 runners in scoring position.
Not a banner night for either bullpen. 2 of the better bullpens in the majors. And now John King well outside to McKenna. Again, Austin Hayes is out of the lineup today with a sore wrist. Ryan Mountcastle's dealing with a sinus infection. This could be a spot for either, but doesn't appear that Brandon Hyde wants to use either tonight. And McKenna with a fly ball to left field. Miller at the track, at the wall. Get out of here! Ryan McKenna has given the Orioles the lead. Who needs a pinch hitter? Up over the great wall. His first home run of the season. How's that for timing?
Come on, kid, put that chain on. First long ball of the year, and it was a long one too.
That was in the air for about 45 seconds, I swear it. Let's take a look at that one more time, at least.
Yeah, a little slider. But boy, look where it is. I mean, it is elevated belt high. You see how big those eyes were for McKenna? He recognized it, and he puts barrel on ball and gets every stitch of that one.
A single, a walk, a steal, a line out, and a homer. One of the best nights of McKenna's young big league career, his 3rd major league home run, and now Chirinos batters one into center field. The 7 and the 8 hitters coming through in the Oriole 8th.
Boy, this team, I tell you, they are fun to watch. There is no quit in them. None. Just gave up a big league, and McKenna comes back and changes that.
Another $500 for Ronnie Upchurch, our Maryland Lottery Fast Play Riches contestant of the game. Thanks to Ryan McKenna and his first home run in 298 days. Man, oh man, what a night. Two and 0 for Mateo. This is Texas's long man. John King hasn't pitched in 8 days, or one of their longer men. And here is Felix Bautista, who it looks like will pitch for the 4th time in 5 days.
Well, Mateo did not like this call. He thought this ball was up. We'll take a look at it, and it probably was.
Todd Tichner has been very good tonight, but maybe mistakes were made there. And a swing, according to John Bacon. The 3rd time today the Orioles have broken a tie to take the lead. 1-0, 5-4, 8-7. Way outside, and Mateo couldn't help himself.
Really good changeup. John King just kind of feathers it off the outside part.
Cedric Mullins having another huge night. He will try to add on. And that's going to help. A well-placed chopper.
Back-to-back multi-hit nights for Cedric Mullins. 2 for 5 last night, a homer and a couple of RBIs.
And with 2 walks and 2 hits, Mullins has reached base 4 times tonight. So a base hit for Trey in the 7th inning. 2 hits tonight. Another multi-hit game for him. Mullins with his 23rd multi-hit game of the year. Mancini with his 21st.
Yeah, and speaking of hits, Orioles double digits in hits again. What was it, a week between? 12 hits last night, first time in a week. Back-to-back nights now.
Another dozen.
Well, here's Trey Mancini. This was in the 7th inning. Already had a double for an RBI. This ball right down the line, and that's what got the rally going. Josh Smith could not handle it on the transfer. Gave the Orioles an extra opportunity, and it was Santander with a base hit right after that.
And that was Trey's 700th career hit and his 11th infield single of the year. Trey has a chance to really light this game up right now. So to 700 career hits. Again, it's sort of an odd round number, but just to give you some perspective on how quickly he's gotten there. Machado did it awfully quickly. Markakis, Cal, Eddie, B-Rob, and
that's pretty good company.
Not a bad list. We're going to see Eddie, by the way, along with a lot of our other old friends for our 30th anniversary weekend celebration, which was just announced today. Weekend of August 4th through the 7th.
That's against the Pirates, right?
Your old teammate Rick Sutcliffe's going to be one of the folks there.
Looking forward to seeing old Sut. Chris Hoyles will be here.
Chris Davis, Robert Andino, Jay Gibbons, Rodrigo Lopez, Jeff Rebele, others to come. Will you be here?
I will be here.
Okay.
So I'll get to hang out with the boys a little bit.
3-2 for Mancini. That is inside, ball 4. Bases loaded up. Here comes Doug Mathis, the pitching coach. Trey on base 3 times. And Santander will bat. Nobody has quite been able to hang on to the steering wheel in this one. And Texas will have Smith, Simeon, and Seager 1, 2, 3 in the 9th.
And if you're the Orioles, you need at least one more here. And you can get it without getting a base hit, which is nice. Base hit would be beautiful, but I'll take a sacrifice fly right now.
Santander, a sharp single to right field, drove in a run his last time, and a bunt base hit earlier in the game, first of his career. From the right side, he takes ball 1. No grand slams in his career. Had a big 2-run single against Tampa Bay earlier this year in extras, way in front of a changeup. Rangers are pretty adept at turning double plays. Not quite Orioles level, but tied for 7th in the league. One and 2. I think we have discovered that the changeup is the piece de resistance for Mr. King.
And this is where you hope Santander finds a way just to shorten up a little bit. Ooh, boy, that's a good pitch. That's a couple of change-ups away. Thinking Santander might be looking, and why wouldn't he, for another changeup, and just misses the inside part. Now you come in, does he go right back to that bread and butter, which is a changeup on the outside part?
Two for Anthony. Chop to the right side. Simeon flipped. Seager in time. And the Rangers turn 2. The Orioles get 1. They take the lead courtesy of Ryan McKenna.
Big ball out to left field. First long ball of the year for Ryan McKenna. The Orioles will take a 1-run lead into the ninth.
Field seats into Big Mac land at the bottom of the 8th. First home run in nearly 300 days has given the Orioles the lead for the 3rd time today. They will try to hold it behind Felix Bautista, who's pitching Ben for the 4th time in 5 days.
Orioles will turn to the mountain. Felix Bautista making his 36th appearance. ERA outstanding 1.39. 32 innings of work, 38 strikeouts. 3 long balls, but opponents hitting just 186 off the right-hander Felix Bautista.
If we wind the clocks back exactly 3 months, today's July 5th. Let's go back to April 5th. That was the day before the Orioles officially set their opening day roster. And 3 months ago, we didn't know if Felix Bautista would be on it. 3 months later, he is not only still on the roster, he has been on the roster all year. He is looking for his 3rd big league save, and he is maybe Brandon Hyde's most trusted relief pitcher right now.
A lot of great stories this year for the Orioles, just like last year, but this is one of them. This is one of the biggest, especially where you consider where he was and where he came from last year. Began the year in A-ball last year for the Orioles.
He's got the top of the Texas lineup. We'll see how sharp the stuff is. 4th game, 5 days. Yeah, pretty sharp.
That's pretty sharp. Triple digits. How about 100 miles an hour right on the outside corner?
Smith overshifted. And right now overpowered.
Josh Smith says they don't have pitchers like that in AAA. Don't have fastballs, not many of them like that either.
0-2. Another splitter. Faced 3 batters yesterday, Bautista. Walked 1, got the other 2. 2-2 for Smith. Because of a scoring change in Seattle, an infield single changed to an error on Ryan Mountcastle. Now 20 consecutive outings where Bautista has not allowed an earned run since May the 18th. That tells you a lot about Josh Smith right there. Not many can dig out 101 below the knees.
Well, he doesn't strike out much, and that's what the Rangers, one of the things they like about him. He plays short, 3rd, 2nd base, but doesn't strike out much. Until now.
He doesn't strike out much because he doesn't see that thing much.
Most everybody will strike out. I mean, you get 101 down at the knees, and you get a splitter that comes out of that same window, starts it in the same spot, but this time it's about 11 miles an hour slower, and it just bottoms out in a big first out here in the top of the 9th inning for the Orioles.
13 strikeouts in his last 6 2/3, Bautista. 13 strikeouts out of the last 20 outs. That's the slider to Simeon, who broke a tie in the 9th inning yesterday with a home run off of Jorge Lopez. 1 for 4 today with an RBI infield single. That one is down the right field line, and that is out of play. The Rangers have plenty of power here. 10 home runs for Simeon, who hit 45 a season ago. 15 for Seager behind him. 15 for Garcia behind him. It is thunder versus lightning right now. 1-2. What do those two swings on fastballs tell you if you're Bautista?
I mean, he's late. And that's what scares you a little bit about throwing an off-speed pitch. If you throw the good one, like you threw to Josh Smith, you probably get a swing and a miss. But because he's a little bit late on the fastball, he could run into something off-speed if it's not placed in the right spot.
A ground ball. Odor in the shift. Has to hurry. It's not in time. Simeon beat it out for an infield single.
Yeah, Simeon fooled Rougned Odor on this one. Marcus Simeon can get down the line. He was smelling the infield hit. Look how quickly he is out of the box. And I mean, he is picking up and putting them down in one too many steps by Rougned Odor. Watch this. Shuffle, shuffle, two shuffles. And Simeon just beats it out. Check out this sprint. Head down, wide open, and he's hunting the front part of that bag and gets there.
30 feet per second is an elite major league sprint speed, and that was 30 feet per second right there.
I believe it.
So now Simeon, a great base stealer, 14 for 16, leads the Rangers in steals, tied for 5th in the American League. And Bautista took too long for Seager's liking.
And the question is, will Simeon take a chance? Will he take a chance and try to get in the scoring position? Not a big lead.
Not going here on ball 1 to Seager. Goes back to the stopwatch concept you were talking about earlier with the Orioles on the bases. Bautista at 6'8" can be a little bit slower to the plate. Still not going on ball 2. And Chirinos is going to come to the mound.
Yeah. Because you can tell Bautista is trying to be a little bit quicker than usual, and it's got him off his game just a little bit. And I think this is the message is, hey, we want to pay attention to him. Let's pay attention to him with holes, maybe. You know, come set and pitch and then have maybe a 3 or 4 count and pitch. But don't let it change what you're trying to do, because your main objective is to attack the guy at home plate.
Orioles are tied for 3rd in the league in double plays turned. Bautista has turned a couple behind him. O's have turned 72 in 81 games. There goes Simeon. There goes Seager, right center field. Mullins not going to get there. It's gone. And the Rangers take the lead for the first time tonight. Orioles wanted to turn 2. Texas will take 2 on Seager's 16th of the season.
Wow. Well, 2 guys you went and got in the offseason, you paid a lot of money for, and they have come through here in the 9th inning. Infield single by Simeon. And then a 2-run shot by Corey Seager. His 16th of the year, his 38th RBI of the year.
That is the 4th home run allowed in the big leagues by Felix Bautista. And after Jorge Lopez had his earned run streak snapped over the weekend, Bautista has his streak of 20 straight outings with an earned run snapped here. A blown save, a Texas lead, 9-8. We've seen the bullpen be absolutely dominant, flawless at times this year. You mentioned it with Mel on the pregame show. They have thrown a lot of innings, and you wonder at what point do those innings catch up to some of these pitchers.
I mean, it's true, you know, but Brendan Hyde's not had much of a choice, you know, because, you know, you got to get length out of your starters. And when you're not getting length, the bullpen gets used more. And while you can sustain it for a while, you wonder over the course of 6 months and 162 games how sustainable it is.
There's a strikeout of Garcia. Bautista finds the good fastball. We're out number 2.
Yeah, this is just 101 right to the top of the zone. The difference is when you get ahead, right? Seager got the count in his favor.
Now 2 down for Calhoun. In the bottom of the ninth, the Orioles will have Rutschman, who tied it in the ninth yesterday, Urias and Odor, 4, 5, 6. Looks like it'll be the Texas closer Joe Barlow who gave up the lead in the ninth inning yesterday. Eleven hits for the Rangers, 12 for the Orioles. And now 30 runs scored in the 2 games in this series. 30 runs in not even 18.5 innings. There's strike 3. So Bautista picks up 3 punch outs in the ninth, but gives up 2. O's will need at least 1 against Barlow. Baseball game that has been, I guess, entertaining in some ways. Orioles have had the lead 3 times. The Rangers take it for the first time on this topsy-turvy Tuesday. Corey Seager's 2-run homer after Marcus Semien beat out a fairly routine ground ball to Rougned Odor gives the Rangers the lead. Well, the Orioles did trail by 1 against Joe Barlow in the bottom of the ninth inning yesterday, and they will look to score against him for a second straight day.
Yeah, Barlow making his 28th appearance, 13 saves and 16 opportunities. ERA just a shade below 3. 21 punch outs and 27 innings of work, and opponents hitting 194 off the right-hander Joe Barlow.
Steven Duggar is the new left fielder replacing Brad Miller. And Adley Rutschman is the batter. A matchup that Adley quite enjoyed last night. 2 out, 1 on against Joe Barlow in the ninth inning. He did this.
Yeah, this was impressive because remember the pitch before that to put him in the hole 0-1 was a breaking ball, but this time he gets a fastball up in the zone right off the wall. It kicked off the bottom of the wall, and when it did, gave the Orioles a chance to tie the ball game.
And Joe Barlow, learning his lesson, does not throw a fastball.
It was a first pitch breaking ball 2 yesterday. Now we'll see if the sequence stays the same.
0 for 3 with a walk for Adley tonight. And he did not get a fastball here. This could be trouble. Seager going out, and Duggar, the left fielder who just came into the game, runs it down.
Looked like a little cutter. So first pitch breaking ball, then a cutter that kind of got in on the hands and pops it up. And Duggar just into the game, played a little bit deeper like most do. But left field being pushed back a little bit, but easily gets to it.
Well, Ramon Urias in his first start in nearly a month has scored a run, driven in 2, and picked up 2 hits. 7th multi-hit game of the year. And Urias pops one out of play. Odor on deck. Urias now. Good frame there by Heim off the bounce. Suspect Rugnet would like a shot at redemption here after too slowly fielding that ground ball from Simeon in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, that was the play that kind of got it going. But give Simeon a lot of credit for busting it down the line.
Boy, two pretty big infield singles for Simeon tonight. The one off the third base bag and the fifth that looked like it might end the inning. Texas scored 3 in that inning. Started the rally. Barlow's 2-2. He's in the air to left. Duggar has recorded both outs since checking into the game. Ryan Mountcastle has moved into the on-deck circle. He would bat for Ryan McKenna, who gave the Orioles a short-lived lead with a home run in the 8th. And Mountcastle will bat if Odor can reach. Against the team he played for the first 7 years of his big league career. Odor high into right field at the wall. We are tied. You serious? A 9th inning roller coaster ride for Rugnet Odor. Up and down and sideways. And a 9-9 tie at the end of it all.
Oh, skip it in, big fellas. Skip it in. That's redemption. Maybe a play that he should have made and he didn't. That led to a 2-run inning for the Rangers and a lead, but not anymore.
What a stupendous, stupefying baseball game this has been.
Watch this. Breaking ball up, and Rugi knew it when it touched his bat, and he admired that one. He stood there and watched it, and why not?
The hot dog contest was shorter than that home run trot for Odor. And McKenna will now bat in a 9-9 tie. Past his old dugout, Rugnet Odor. Hey, remember me?
Then he breaks it down right here at the end, too, and just kind of skips it on in.
A flair for the dramatic. 0-2 for McKenna. A second straight night with a blown save for Barlow. 9's not going to be enough this evening. Down to their final out against Barlow on back-to-back nights. The Orioles have tied it. Now McKenna, who hit his first home run of the year 1 inning ago. And 9 innings will not be enough for this game. How about more free baseball? Thanks to one colossal swing.
The Rougarou, Rougned Odor. What a large one.
Of the Rougarou, Rougned Odor. Bottom of the ninth, 2 out. A blast off of Joe Barlow off of his old team. 6 straight half innings with a run. And somebody's going to need 10 as we go to inning number 10.
Joey Crable in for the Orioles here at the top of the 10th. 26 games he's been in so far this year. 2.57 ERA, 22 punchouts, and 28 innings of work. And opponents are hitting 190 off the right-hander Joey Crable.
Last 6 half innings have featured runs. Mitch Garver tied it in the top of the 7th with a homer. Orioles took the lead back in the bottom of the 7th. Nathaniel Lowe tied it for Texas in the 8th with a homer. Ryan McKenna gave the Orioles the lead in the 8th with a homer. Corey Seager gave the Rangers the lead in the 9th with a homer. Rougned Odor tied it in the 9th with a homer. You got all that?
I got it.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Cole Calhoun will start the inning at second. The Rangers have hit home runs in 3 straight innings. Let's hope it's not 4. Jonah Heim will bat against Joey Crable. Bautista, 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts. I don't think we'll be seeing him for a couple of days with all he's pitched. And it's Crable on a day's rest for now. First pitch of the 10th is a mile high pop-up. Will it stay in play? Yes, sir.
Boy, that is a big first out. And it was Brian Baker last night. Brian Baker came in, same situation, was able to stack a 0 on the scoreboard, even with a runner starting out at second base and nobody out. Joey Crable trying to do the same thing tonight.
One of the Orioles' more reliable relievers this season, Crable. Just 19 hits, 28 and a third. Got to be very careful here. Nathaniel Lowe, the average and on-base leader for the Rangers. Ball 1. You have Taveras on deck, who just came into the game to pinch run. Not a great hitter. Duggar after that, who just came in to play defense. Lowe is certainly the big bat in the line of 3 here. Fouled it off himself.
Yeah, I mean, for Joey Crable, it's just how, I mean, first base open, obviously, so how comfortable are you against Nathaniel Lowe? Nathaniel Lowe not real comfortable right now.
Waving off his dugout. Crable was great on Sunday, his last outing in Minnesota. Came in with 2 on, 2 out in the 7th inning in that game. Got Gilberto Celestino on a ground out through a scoreless 8th in the Orioles' 3-1 win. 1-1.
Joe Barlow, a couple of rough nights here in Baltimore.
He doesn't look thrilled to be here, Joe Barlow. 3-1 to Lowe. Crable is being a little bit picky here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Orioles just not going to go ahead and put him on.
Calhoun, the automatic runner at second. And a 3-2 or a 3-1 strike moves the count to 3-2 as Chirinos faked a throw through. Maybe another changeup, 3-2.
Yeah, he tried to throw that changeup down and away, and he caught the inside part of the plate.
So that would worry you a little bit?
Yes. This matchup worries me, period. Even 3-2 count.
And a cutter puts him on. So the Orioles can maybe live with that, considering how carefully Crable pitched around. It is the third walk of the game, low on base for a fourth time. And Texas is going to pinch run for Lowe at first. Charlie Culberson, who is apparently the designated extra inning pinch runner, will come into the game at first. Well, how about a double play? What do you think?
Well, the Orioles have been the best in the American League at doing that. 72 of them this year.
Batter is Taveras, who does run well. That's in the dirt. Good block by Chirinos. Keep the double play in line.
Well, what a difference a few years make, right? Oriole catchers.
'81 games. The Orioles have only thrown 23 wild pitches. That's a far cry from last year's number. Taveras out of play, 1-1.
Crable throws a lot of changeups, and he can create a ground ball on a changeup.
23-year-old Leody Taveras grounded out once, struck out twice yesterday. On base percentage only .275, 2 homers, 51 plate appearances. Not known for his bat at this point of his career.
Slow it down a couple of times, and 95 right to the top of the zone.
One and two. To left field, a base hit on a hop to McKenna. He will throw it in, a dart to the plate on a hop, and Calhoun was given the stop sign by Tony Beasley at third. Not sure Calhoun was thrilled given the result, but you can understand it from Tony on a ball hit to a shallow McKenna. Texas loads the bases with 1 out.
Yeah, McKenna closes the ground quickly. Just a fastball up and away, and a nice swing by Taveras. Shoots it out, but it's a one hopper to McKenna. He is tracking it the whole way. Comes up in a rocket towards home plate. Joey Crable a little bit late getting back there. Good thing Chirinos knocked it down and kept it in front.
So Taveras with his first hit of the series, and now the bases full of Rangers for newly acquired Steven Duggar. Only in his 5th Texas game, 3 for 10, 2 walks with the Rangers. Walked twice in 5 plate appearances and singled yesterday. And a first pitch strike. That is a small sample size, but it is a hefty set of results for Mr. Duggar.
Oriole middle infielders push back, so they'll try to turn the double play up the middle. Everybody else probably going to come home with it.
0-1. Out of play, strike 2.
There you go. You have a strikeout pitch in you. Can Joey Crable find a way?
He's gone to 2 strikes on Lowe and Taveras. But he's hit it into the net a couple of times on game point. Calhoun, the go-ahead runner at third. 1-2 with a changeup. He got him with a cutter.
Come on, Joey Crable. Change up away for a ball, and watch this cutter just disappear. Starts on the inner third, and just magic as it dives down and in and underneath the bat of Steven Duggar. And a huge strikeout with the bases loaded. Only one out at the time.
And now Josh Smith for the 6th time tonight. No hits, but does have a sacrifice fly. So one productive plate appearance in there. And ball one to start him with nowhere to put him. This is a player with about as good of a batting eye as there is in the Texas system, with Matt Moore, who pitched the 10th inning yesterday on the bullpen mound.
Yeah, and he's going to put it in play. Josh Smith's going to put the ball in play. You just hope, if you're an Oriole fan, he puts it in play at somebody.
Baseball America rates the system's minor leaguers every year. They rated Smith as having the best strike zone discipline. 16 games of the big leagues, 10 walks. 2-0 from Joey.
Not looking there. 2-0 count. Josh Smith looking for something kind of out over the plate, and Joey Crable a perfect fastball, dots the eye on the inside part.
Trying to keep the Rangers off the board after they've scored in 3 successive innings.
And he land a good changeup down and maybe get him a ground ball.
Missed with a fastball instead, and now one pitch away from walking in a run. Calhoun, Culberson, and Taveras, the runners. 3-1 to Smith. Yanked way foul. And we will start the merry-go-round shortly.
What's he going to throw? How much? I still like the changeup. How confident is Joey Crable in that changeup right now? I mean, he threw a pretty good fastball right there, and Josh Smith way out in front of it.
They're on their feet at the yard. 3-2. Popped him up, short center field. Mullins puts it away. Joey Crable, Craby in. 1 to win it for the Orioles, looking to return to walk-off land. Hit, intentional walk, hit by pitch with the bases loaded, and the Orioles added to their total of weird, wild walk-off wins as Mateo hobbled to first, crossing first to a Gatorade bath. The Orioles' 6th walk-off win of the season. 4 of those have come on non-hits: a walk-off walk, a walk-off error, a walk-off fielder's choice, a walk-off hit by pitch. Let's fill out weird walk-off bingo tonight. Maybe a wild pitch, maybe a balk. Who knows?
We hadn't had a walk-off balk yet.
We haven't had that yet, but we got Matt Moore back for more in the 10th inning again.
Yeah, 41 strikeouts in just 35 2/3. ERA right at 2, and opponents hitting 197 off the left-hander Matt Moore.
Charlie Culberson will stay into play first, and Ryan McKenna will go to second as the automatic runner. Robinson Chirinos is going to bat. One of the Orioles' faster runners at second base, and Texas will anticipate the bunt.
And I think you can expect it right here.
Well, we have a good history, Ben, of seeing interesting things happen when Robinson Chirinos bunts in extra innings. He shows it a tie. Let's turn back the clocks to April 30th. First and second, nobody out in extra innings.
Salamore, watch this. Oh, you got him. No, you don't. Just about 5 feet over the head of Devers. Mateo would come home. That was your walk-off error.
And there's ball 2. Remember, Moore had a lot of trouble with a bunt from Odor yesterday that turned into a bunt hit. Rangers pitchers have struggled in the field all year. 2-0, you keep the bunt on?
I think so. And McKenna runs well at second, so it doesn't have to be a great bunt. Just get it down, kill it a little bit. Oh
no, Heim is going to bobble it, and then did he catch it off the bobble? He did. Heim almost fumbled it when it came down to the wire, but he hung on off the bobble for the first out.
My goodness, that is a killer. Nice job of Heim staying with this. Bobbles it right there, bobbles it again. Kind of off the leg, but stays with it. Can it get any crazier?
I think so. Chris Woodward is going to come to the mound. Ryan Mountcastle's just been announced as the pinch hitter. And what do you do here if you're Texas, because you got Mullins coming up?
Well, Mountcastle obviously been super hot. Had an 0 for last night. 0 for 5 last night. And has been attacking first pitches.
Well, Moore primarily throws curveballs. And Mountcastle got a lot of breaking balls yesterday, and he popped a few of them up. 0 for 5, 5 air outs in the game. The Orioles leader in OPS, average, slugging, and there's the first pitch out of the zone with a changeup. Did not start today because of a sinus issue, not feeling well, but feeling well enough to bat here in the 10th. Another changeup.
2 really good changeup. One out of the zone, run right to the bottom of the zone.
Todd Titchener just yelled into the Oriole dugout. He's pointing out at Matt Moore. Popped him up on a fastball. Culberson, the new first baseman. And McKenna will draw a throw, but hold at second. Well, for the Orioles to walk off for the 7th time this year, Cedric Mullins is going to have to do something. And he has done a lot in this series. 2 hits yesterday, a double, a homer, drove in 2. On base 4 out of 5 times today. 2 more RBIs. Driven in 4 in the series. And a pop up for strike 1. Had a walk-off sac fly against the Yankees last season, Mullins. Into left field from Mullins. That is going to get past Duggar. Everybody go home. One of the most ridiculous baseball games of the year. It belongs to the Baltimore Orioles. 10-9 in 10. Mullins eludes the Gatorade bath, but he is your hero tonight.
Wow. What a game. And folks, I'm telling you, if you've not been out to the ballpark to watch this team play, you better start paying attention. No quit in them at all. They just keep coming back. How many times tonight? Give up the lead. Rangers come back, take the lead. Orioles back and forth, and Cedric Mullins does it again. And the Orioles do it again. Back-to-back nights with a walk-off. This time, more traditional, a base hit walk-off.
We started the night telling you about all the weird walk-offs the Orioles had this year. And there's nothing weird about Cedric Mullins delivering in the clutch. 6 trips to the plate tonight, 5 times on base, 3 RBIs, and the Orioles score in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th to win it.
Well, we've been talking about how hot Cedric Mullins has been, and this is the reason why. He is starting to use the opposite field more and more. And when he's letting that ball travel and has that inside-out swing going, he is big-time dangerous and just melts this one out to left center field. McKenna easily scores.
The Orioles' 7th walk-off win of the season, the 2nd most in Major League Baseball. 7 of their 38 wins have come via the walk-off. They've been involved in a walk-off 4 of the last 5 nights, and Cedric Mullins with a walk-off double tonight, his 2nd double of the game. Take us to the at-bat, if you would, for a moment there, Cedric. You fall behind 0-1. What are you figuring Matt Moore is going to give you there?
Yeah, you know, leading up to that at bat, I knew that I was going to have a chance to face him, but was kind of just locking it in, keeping my approach, and you know, just wanted to drive the ball the other way, and that's what I got.
Cedric, looked like to me you've really been staying on the ball a lot better here the last couple weeks. You are driving the ball. Any adjustments you made, or do you feel like your timing has just gotten better?
Yeah, I think just over the course of time it's gotten better. Just continuing to put the work in the cage, and it's showing on the field.
You guys scored in the 7th, in the 8th, in the 9th, and the 10th. How do you make sense of what you were just a part of?
Yeah, they definitely gave us a battle today, and it was a great team effort all around, and you know, they gave me an opportunity to seal the deal, and I came through.
Cedric, talk a little bit about this team, man. There's no quitting you guys. You guys just keep coming back, keep coming after guys.
Yeah, that's the approach that we come in, mindset that we have every day, and this team grinds. We don't give up at any given point, and it shows day in and day out.
How about the power from Ryan McKenna? Where did Big Mac come from there in the 8th?
Yeah, he definitely has it in him, and he came through for us big time right there to keep the game going, and we were able to come out on top.
Well, great job eluding the Gatorade bath, and great job with the base hit. Congratulations on the win, Seth.
Thank you.
10-9 your final. Ravens over the Cowboys on a late field goal. O's Extra, Melly, I think you might have a thing or two to talk about.
Kevin, I think we have a few things to talk about in this one. We've rewritten the script for the post-game show 80 times, but this one we get to deliver to you with a win tonight. A big one off the bat of Cedric Mullins. You mentioned Orioles' 2nd most walk-off wins this season. We'll break it all down here from Brandon Hyde and so much more next on O's Extra Post-Game.